I'd like to take a moment before we begin to shout out Pyrr Kong's theater students who found out he has a YouTube channel has been providing me with an endless source of entertainment ever since. Keep up the good work, guys. I love it.
Thank you, small children. Thank you to the one who invented an account called, I believe it was, I only made this account so I could spam you. Haha. I won't report your age to YouTube, but gosh. Please don't dox me, children. I know you don't know what that is, but please don't do it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Design Dorks Gaiden, the June episode, the E3 episode, where the new segment is going to be really, really long.
Haha! We have little to add. It's just life.
I am one of your co-hosts, the Duke of Dorks, and joining me, as always, is my wonderfully educational friend, Pyrr Kong.
Hello, it is me. I have nothing more interesting to add. That's cool. Anyway.
You know, I don't really have much of an intro for you. Do you just want to jump straight into Rool Watch?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's weird. Rool Watch.
That's right, it's King K. Rool!
No! Okay, next segment. Well, I mean, Nintendo didn't have much, but like, come on, dude, like, the Bangkok tour was out in Mario Kart Tour, but no, it's just Daisy.
Again.
She's in a cute dress, though.
It's still just Daisy. What is going on with Nintendo? Like, it will never cease to annoy me just how not transparent they are. Like, they could have just been like...
Elaborate?
Yeah, we don't quite have anything ready for what we traditionally do in June, but like, stay tuned, we'll have things soon. Just do a tweet, fixes all of it. But no, you gotta be suspenseful. You gotta be vague.
Well, you know, it's only the first E3 season that they've missed out on since 1995.
It's only been around as long as I have. Like, but no, we don't need to...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they did do the Xenoblade Direct thing, they had the partner showcase, but like them and Sony, like, I'm not fond of that side of the games industry.
I'm not fond of the games industry.
He says in a
weird thing to devote my life to, however.
Yeah, still no K. Rool. Maybe their direct will be this month. Who knows?
He's coming. You know, they're going to do something big. It's going to be like, I don't know, we're going to release the legendary Starfield collection, and as a bonus, you get K. Rool.
He just shows up
Wario's
as the main
in the
villain.
third game. Anything can happen.
That's true. That is true. Who knows?
Anyway, this is a podcast where we talk about video games.
It is indeed. Want to talk about some? What have you been playing?
I mean, I guess. Okay, what have I been playing? That's a good question. Not as much this month because there's a lot of things to talk about and time is scarce for me. Because as you said, I am doing theater teaching all summer and I'm doing that for most of the hours of the day. So most of what I played has been cool down from work type of games. So to start things off, I started playing One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. This is a Musou game based in the One Piece series.
Oh, okay.
Which the One Piece series is fabulous. I love it. It's amazing. This game is okay. This is a pretty traditional anime game where it's like, okay, we're going through the beats of the anime story and we're doing it with whatever gameplay that we're happening to introduce, whether that be fighting or in this case, Musou style gameplay. And it's fun. It's cute. It's interesting to see how they adapt locations, because as you know, Musou maps are usually really, really big to account for the multi-base systems, and it's really interesting to see them adapt locations from the One Piece universe. Like, I thought that I would be entranced just to see, oh, how are they going to do this character's moveset? But what I'm really enjoying is just creating this space that kind of exists for character beats, but is so lived in because One Piece does such an exceptional job at world building, and seeing it made into a map and just a world that I can wander around. If anything, it makes me excited for One Piece Odyssey coming out. The ability to exist in the One Piece world is a really, really cool feeling. And it does some neat little stuff like, if you pick a specific character and you do a specific challenge that fits in with the anime story, you'll get one moment from the anime as a cutscene and then get a bonus at the end of the level.
Nice.
It's cool. It's simple. I can't play more than one stage at a time because I get really bored really quickly with Muso gameplay.
I mean, that's kind of just Muso's, though.
Yeah, no, I know. But of the ones I played, like, I got bored less fast than Hyrule Warriors. So, like, yeah.
Yeah. The most important thing for an adaptation is to capture the vibe of what it's adapting, and it sounds like it's doing that.
Oh, it does that. It does that really, really well. Like, you get, obviously, super cartoony pirates as your general flunkies, but it does a good job differentiating the looks of the different generic pirate crews you're running through. Like, it starts with the Buggy the clown pirates, and they're clowns. But then you also have the Marines, and then you have Don Krieg's more rough and tumble pirates, and the Fishmen. And it just, yeah, it does a nice job being colorful and fun, and I guess feeling more like the cartoony slapstick that One Piece has, rather than just the pure, oh, I'm doing the Lu Bu things, but this time I'm Zoro.
Ooh.
Let's see. On the opposite side of that spectrum, I also played Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury. This is an adaptation of the Boo saga from Dragon Ball Z as a real-time RPG on the Game Boy Advance. And if that confuses you, yes. This game is bad, but I enjoy playing it significantly. Like, this is pristine junk food of a game. Do you ever just get into the feeling of, like, you're grinding up a Pokemon and are just slowly enjoying the numbers go up and one-hitting all of the wild Pokemon as you go around?
Oh yeah, I get that.
That is this entire game, but also reimagining Dragon Ball plot points in, like, the most, oh god, did they ever try way possible. Just to give an example, one of the basic gimmicks of Majin Buu is that he's a big blobby man, and if you blow him to bits, each of his pieces that are blown to bits will reform and eventually turn into little Boos that then form into the big Buu. So, to show that in this game, they just show him blown to bits and there's nothing, and then one of the characters goes, what? And with no fanfare or anything, the sprite of Majin Buu just goes, and it's right there. They're like, impossible! It's like a 0-frame animation of just the sprite being, and make visible, and it's here.
That sounds amazing.
And like, this game is junk. You just go around. The optimal strategy is just pumping your strength so you one-hit every enemy. Bosses can be stun-locked with zero thought. But like, I walked up a mountain and Broly was there. And Broly was really scary. And Trunks was like, I bet I can beat him. And then I beat him in 5 punches. And Broly went, ah, and he exploded. And like, that made me feel good.
Yeah. Sounds like
And the most important thing is that they have a museum to Hercule. And it has an Animal Crossing side mode where you go around the world collecting Hercule objects so you can donate them to the Hercule Cafe.
Sure.
And I love Hercule. He's my big favorite. This is a bad game, but it requires so little of me to play it that I really enjoy my time with it.
Is it better than Blue's Clues alphabet book?
I think that it may be worse designed, but it is better.
Okay, so it's a -6 to Blue's Clues' 5.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't even call it bad, because I know that there were 2 Legacy of Goku games before this that were rougher than this. And I'm like, oh no, those might be worse than a Blue's Clues Blues alphabet book. But this is like, you tried to learn from your mistakes, and you made something completely adequate. Like, I would have played the crap out of this game as a kid.
Oh, for sure.
It is just a nothing great car trip game. I'm glad I went back and played it, because I really needed to not think. And then, last for small bits here, I played Panzer Dragoon Remake. And this is a remake of Panzer Dragoon.
I've heard not great things about it.
This is a game that I think has the least reason to exist of almost any game I played. Because it is a remake of a Sega Saturn game that is less than 1 hour to finish. Star Fox SNES has more replay value and more game in it than this game. On the other hand, it is very faithfully remade. It has a lot of detail work. It re-envisions the world of Panzer Dragoon, which was a technical marvel when it came out on the Saturn, and makes it like what you would have imagined it in the mid-90s. And it's very colorful, it's very vibrant. It's that arcade style of storytelling where it doesn't make sense and you're kind of just getting hints of what's happening. But that kind of adds to the mystique of the world. Like, you're just, okay, I gotta blow up the other dragon so that the tower doesn't cause the apocalypse or something? But it's got that really interesting feeling. It remakes the 7-minute intro of Panzer Dragoon. And this is where my sticking point is, because I don't think that it's good because it's remade and has improved the assets. I think the theater of the mind created by the Saturn and the ability of seeing kind of what it looks like, but letting your imagination fill in the rest, honestly makes it more charming than seeing it in full detail.
Oh yeah, I feel that way about so many different games. Like GBA Fire Emblems and Pokemons have like the same sort of deal. The brain fills in the things in a way that is just so delightful that 3D animation just hasn't really caught up to it.
Yeah, something about just seeing these mess of polygons try to emulate like a guy hunting through the desert and escaping a giant scorpion monster chasing him, and then a dragon comes in. Something about seeing that in rough polygons and just the suggestion of everything happening is so much more ethereal and mystical that I think it captures the soul of the game a lot better. And I think it makes it a lot more replayable, just being able to exist in that ethereal world, because I beat this and I was done with it and I'll never pick it up again. And I know that the game is built on replay value. It basically says that, and improving your time. Like, the whole thing is just how accurate with your shots can you be in one full run so that you can get the best rank possible. And I don't care to do it with this version. I don't think it's a worse game than Blue's Clues Blues Alphabet Book, but I think Blue's Clues Blues Alphabet Book has a reason to exist more than this game.
That is, it sounds like this game needed a sequel more than a remake. Like something to flesh it out further.
It did, it got it, Panzer Dragoon Orta. And that game's better.
I've never heard of that. I didn't know we had to see. Oh, okay. Neat.
Yeah, there's a whole RPG version on it called Panzer Dragoon Saga that will never get off the Saturn. It's one of the most expensive games you can buy that was actually released.
There's a huge remake craze going around these days, and I guess it's just that a desire of being like, oh, people really like this. If we just do it again, then surely it'll be just as good as they remember. And that's true sometimes, but...
Yeah, it captures the imagination fine, but as for the game, it's fine. It's there. Like, you have a charge shot that homes in and a pew-pew shot that just goes pew-pew, and both of those are better in certain situations, but usually the homing shot is better. And the gimmick of it is that you can turn your body on your Dragoon so you face in 4 directions, and when facing forward, it's great. When facing to the side, it sucks. When facing behind, it also sucks, but less than the side. It's like, it's playing with perspective, it's playing with its world, but I think that it was better as a novelty.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully...
Or as a racetrack in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing.
Honestly, yeah.
Because that gets the full realization of, oh, this world from my childhood, it's come back and I get to see it and oh, it's so beautiful. Like the Skies of Arcadia racetrack does that too, and that's beautiful. This is that, but like, that sustains a racetrack, but the racetrack is better than this game.
I don't really have anything. I hope it doesn't like spell doom for the franchise. Just being like, oh, we're sticking our toes back in. Oh, it's a bit lukewarm. I will never touch it again because, like, there's value to the nostalgia. You just gotta find a better way. Maybe they could fix the problem with Star Fox at the same time and make like a crossover between the two of them.
That would require Nintendo caring about Star Fox, though.
No, they do care about Star Fox. They just only care about making the same Star Fox over and over again.
But what about freakazoids like me who like Assault?
Well, you just get to be sad.
That sounds familiar to people who grew up with the GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about this. What you been playing?
Not much, to be perfectly honest. It is summertime, so being up in my room with my gaming stuff gets way too warm. I live in a desert, not fun, so I haven't played many games. But what I do play is generally just comfort food, more of what I've been playing before.
Okay. I
wanted to play Before Your Eyes after you brought it to the last one. My webcam is broken, unfortunately.
No.
As soon as I get around to fixing that, I'm going to play that, but...
I was in anticipation of like, oh, did he play it this month? Did he?
I wanted to, but no. It's a bit of a barrier for entry.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I've still been playing Songs of Conquest, the turn-based game I brought last time.
Right.
I'm really enjoying starting to learn like ways to exploit the mechanics. They have a lot of different there's a knight unit that deals more damage based on how far you move, and there is a really, really cheap movement spell that increases how far you can move. So you can just cast that over and over and over again and just have the knight run in circles around the board and then just deal a bazillion damage to whatever it ends up hitting.
Oh, I love combos like that.
Yeah, it's the kind of game that is designed to be broken, and breaking it's very fun.
Yeah, my favorite thing with games like that is breaking it open, and then there's a boss that it doesn't work against.
Oh yeah, oh no, and there's like, it's a strange balancing act where every faction has different ways it can be broken, and those respective ways counter other broken factors. So it's weirdly balanced at the end of the day.
Oh, I like this.
But no, it's still a great game. I'd recommend. Also, the Set 7 for Teamfight Tactics came out. I can't really add a lot to why I enjoy that game. It's just great to like build a board of units based off of various set bonuses and just see those strategies come alive. One of the first games I played, I think this was like the second game, I noticed a trait called Astral, which is like, okay, every 5th shop round, like every time you see like those 5 units at the bottom and you refresh through it, you get a small orb that gives you a few coins, and you get a shop round that has a chance to have more Astrals in it, which is a really good combo because it combos into itself.
Right.
And if you get the full thing, you get a 5% chance of getting the 5-cost super unit for it, which is, I don't know if you know the character Aurelion Sol from League of Legends.
Nope.
Giant Star Dragon, super snotty to every other character, fantastic character design.
Cool.
But there's only a 5% chance of getting that, and somehow I had that proc 7 times, which just,
nice.
That feeling of just being like, my luck can't be this good, and just it continues to be good. It's such a special feeling that you only get from these sorts of games. I ended up 3-starring it, which is basically just winning the game. It creates a giant black hole and deletes the entire board. Units in that game usually only have like 2,000-3,000 health, and you'll be seeing like 5 or 6 digits on the screen for the damage numbers.
Delightful. Oh.
It's been a really, really good set. I enjoy the buffs they've had. The 5-cost units are amazing. Like in a similar way, I've had games where I get a 3-star of a character called Bard, who will, doesn't do any damage on his own, really, but he creates an effect that causes your allies to deal 9,001%, so over 9,000% damage to anything they attack. So just cast the spell, and all of a sudden...
I hate that, but I respect it.
It's so great. Yeah, you have a healer that's, if she overheals you past your limit, it just starts disintegrating champions instead. Like, it's been a delightful time. And then I've been playing a game called just a very small roguelike called Shotgun King: The Last Checkmate. It's a very small, I think it was like $7 on Steam, where picture a chessboard, right?
Right.
You got the white pieces on the other side, but on the black side there's only a king. But the king has a shotgun, and it is a turn-based game where you can choose to either move around the board or fire your gun. And it's a shotgun, it's a spread shot, but you're going against an entire board of chess pieces, so you're going to hit multiple things. Every chess piece has a set amount of hit points. The way the turns work is that every turn that a set amount of pieces will move, so it's not like you move once and then a single white piece moves. You'll have like 5 of them move at once. You kind of have to dodge around as a king, because you're a king, so if you get checked, you'll be checkmated on their next turn. So you kind of just have to dance around while blasting chess pieces on a chessboard, and it's a delightful time.
That's just a silly way to adjust chess. Like, I just always appreciate it when game developers look at an old game or an old concept and go, okay, how do we adjust this? Like you know who's a real Yakuza player by the fact of which ones know how to play Mahjong.
It gets even crazier than that, because it's a roguelike, right? So you get various buffs to your gun, either like more damage or make bigger spread, or the ability to just pick up and throw pieces that you're right next to.
Right.
But every one of those buffs you pick, there's a trade-off. For example, you can give the pawns spears, so they can attack 2 spaces in front of them. You can make it so that kings cannot be killed if there's a knight on the board, as they are their knight in shining armors. Rooks...
Dude, frickin' literal white knights in this game.
No, literally. After 20 turns, more pieces will spawn, just things like that. And it's really great as a roguelike because you only really have to kill the king, so you can choose to like try to wipe the whole board or infiltrate enemy lines and just get behind and snipe the vulnerable bees.
Right.
It's not very long. It's not particularly deep, but it's a fun little twist on how chess works.
Cute.
Yeah.
Like I don't have much to add. It's just like, oh,
I don't have
you
much
make
more
board
either.
game, and it's like you make board game and make it modular. Cool.
Yeah, just been a nice time. What else have you been playing?
Continuing on the cheap Steam train, I have been playing Vampire Survivors. Have you heard of this one? It's been making the rounds lately.
Is that the survival game? No, not the survival.
I mean, yes, it is in the title.
Oh. I don't know why that didn't click in my head, but okay, yeah. No, yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard that people have enjoyed it, but I haven't heard much past that.
Okay, so this is $3 on Steam, and do you remember those Flash games that you would, like, play in the computer lab, where, like, you go around on them, and then you get to an upgrade screen, and you slowly upgrade your character with 1 or 2 things, and then you keep going, and you see if you survive, and then you get another upgrade, and you do that, and it just goes ad infinitum until you die?
Yeah, I remember those.
This is the final form of that. Like, this is that turned up to 11. The simple answer is you are a guy, and based on who you start as, you have a different attack. And you start with a man with a whip, and every, 1 second, directly in front of your character, it will do a whip and kill enemies. And your objective is to live 30 seconds, and every minute, a different wave of enemies will spawn and attack you. And it is the same spawn every single time. This game has no depth. This game is literally just waggle yourself and try not to die and let yourself automatically kill all of the enemies around you. But eventually you become such a fortress and there's like a million enemies on screen and you're just plowing through all of them. And then the next wave comes and you can't plow them. And you're like, oh gosh, they're unplowable. Guess I'll die. That's all this game is. But it's really, really good. Like, it's so good at being mindless. Because, with your objectives being time-based, it's so easy to just invest yourself and go, I'm going to do a run of Vampire Survivors. There are so many unlockables, upgrades are modular. So, for example, you'll get the Santa water, which is every second a vial of purified St. Nicholas water will come down and cause fire on the ground. It's the Castlevania Santa water.
Okay, sure.
And every time you pick it up, it is it will create 2 spots around you. The spots will get bigger. The rate of it will intensify. And you can add on to this with the duplicator item that you get from level up, potentially, which is all of your attacks will now have 1 more projectile thrown out. There's the Fire Wand, which casts a very powerful fireball in a random direction around you. There is the Magic Wand, which shoots off 1 singular projectile, but it will home in on the nearest enemy to you. Very useful at the start, but pretty awful when they start mobbing you. There is the Garlic, which is broken, because it creates a small force field around you that stuns and does just enough damage to kill early enemies. So if you get level 1 Garlic very early on, you're set until at least 15 minutes, unless you're really, really bad. And it's just, it's learning all of these little things. It's figuring out how to make a proper build and just wiggle your character around. It's unlocking new characters and new power-ups all the time to constantly give you this perfect feedback loop. The game constantly updates itself. Like, I think every 2 weeks there's a new update that just adds a ton more items or maps that differentiate the spawns. And it's mindless. Sometimes treasure chests spawn if you beat an enemy that's over-leveled for when it would spawn, because like at the 3-minute mark, there's a giant vampire bat that would usually spawn in at 17 minutes. And if you kill it, you get a treasure chest that gives you an auto-upgrade. And when you open up the treasure chest, it's like you're transported into the gacha dimension. And lights go off, and the nice sound effects, and you get the casino, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And it's like, yeah! Holy water, you got it. It's so soothing to lose yourself to. This is the Flash game. This is the penny slots of real man's gaming, where you just do the things and you see the things and you go, I bet I could do this more. But the only investment instead of money is your time.
I will admit, despite how nothing it sounds like, it sounds so appealing the way you're describing it.
It is the most appealing, just make brain go burr game I have played in a long time. And like, it's $3. Is it worth it for that price? 100%. Absolutely.
I'm curious,
Don't
how
play
many
it
hours...
if you have problems.
Yeah, how many hours have you put into this? Just...
I put in about 15 hours to this, because eventually I got to the 30-minute mark, and I'm like, okay, I did one accomplishment. I'm paying out of the casino now. Because, like, it was like, don't you want to play as this new skeleton? And I'm like, I do want to play as the skeleton. He's not very good to start because he throws a bone, and the bone is very weak. But if you get more bones, they all jump off of enemies, and you can increase the number of enemies they jump off of. So eventually you just get them into the bone zone. And I love the bone zone for plowing my enemies, okay? But no. I said no. I walked away. I had my time. It was fun. It's a very, very dangerous game. I could say that much.
It does sound very addictive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a nice inherent beauty to the simplicity of those sorts of games, because with the simplicity, you can just throw like 100 options at players and just being like, go nuts. It feels like it's diverse, even though you're doing the same thing over
Yep.
and over again, but you're doing it in slightly different ways, so it still feels good.
If this was somebody's Game of the Year 2022, I would not blame them. Like, I get it. It is possible that there could be no better game to just do nothing and go burr with, and it make you happy and feel good. If you have a gambling addiction, don't play this. If you really like this, don't go gambling. Like, use this as your barometer. Yeah, it does everything it wants to good, and is a mindless time.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. The other bigger game I played was Vampire Savior.
Very vampire themed.
Yes, it was very difficult to not mix up these games. This game is also called Darkstalkers 3, because the Capcom Fighting Collection came out and I played the Darkstalkers series. And I played through 1, 2, and 3. And what I appreciate about Darkstalkers is, first of all, released in 1994, gorgeous game. Like, some of the best background detail sprite work I've seen. Just the way, like, the maidens in the vampire Dimitri's lair dance, and the way that their hair flows in a way that is very in tune with the illusory, seductive brides of Dracula is so strong and so good. And then you contrast it with Sasquatch's stage, which is just a bunch of Bigfoots hanging around and having a party behind it. And then there's Bishamon's stage, which is Japan, but it's snowy, which is so rare to see, but so nice to see. And there's just a dog who's looking at a party ball, and he's just sitting there. And when you get toward the round, the dog starts popping off, and it gets on its hind paws. And when someone wins, the party ball opens, and the confetti falls down, and the dog is just like... Such pretty sprite work, and there's so many little things, like, of course, the famous one being Dimitri having the midnight bliss that turns your character into a sexy female version of themselves, and then he drains their blood dry as an innocent maiden. But then there's also the mummy, I think his name is Ankaris, who just turns you into a little chibi version of yourself, and you just have to float around, like Dimitri turns into a tiny little vampire bat, and he just has to hop around helplessly. John Talbane, the werewolf, turns into a Doberman that can't attack for a few minutes. For a few seconds. Few seconds. That's important. And you just get the free time to smack them around with this Dhalsim-like character. Bishamon, if you hit an enemy with a special move and it kills them, he will bisect them in a unique animation for each member of the cast.
I love little attentions to detail like that. It's absolutely the benefit of having a smaller cast, just going crazy with things like that.
Well, yeah, but still, this is a 10-character cast plus 2 boss characters. For 94, that's still very reasonable. Like, thinking that Street Fighter 2 came out like 3 years ago, this is really, really cool and really nice to look at. Then Darkstalkers 2 comes out, and it makes Darkstalkers 1 completely irrelevant because it's just Darkstalkers 1, but it actually plays good. Like, it's literally the assets from Darkstalkers 1, but they added more moves, added more characters, and made it prettier, and made the game not feel like a stiff hunk of junk.
It's funny how that happens for fighting games.
Right?
It's just always the second one. Like, okay, we had the first one to kind of just figure things out. Here's where things get good.
Right? But, like, I still like Darkstalkers 1. Like, I don't think it's as good as Street Fighter 2, but I think, like, it's still better than any Mortal Kombat of the era. But then you get to Darkstalkers 2, I'm like, oh god, this game is great. Just the fluidity of motion, the feeling that it's not super stiff. The hardest thing about Darkstalkers 1 is that in order to do a dash, you had to triple tap it. And that feels anti-intuitive to every other video game and just stiff and awful, and like things just aren't coming out. And that's always the worst thing with fighting games, where it just feels like, I'm doing the thing, but it's not letting me do the thing. Darkstalkers 2 fixes that. It just feels so smooth and fluid and good. They add supers for every character that feel way better than DS1s, which are kind of just ultra combos. And just, Darkstalkers 2 is so good. What separates Darkstalkers as a fighting game from Street Fighter is how much it focuses on its movement. You know, dashing is an important part of fighting games that I pretty much neglected in playing them. I just don't think about it because I have to think about the inputs, or I'm a charge character and you're not getting Guile to move. With Darkstalkers, every character has a unique dash. Dimitri, the vampire's, is that he teleports forward during his dash, and during the middle of it, when he's invisible, he's completely intangible. And you can do inputs so that he does a move immediately out of his dash.
That sounds strong.
Yeah, it is strong. But then you have Morrigan, who is Morrigan, the character that you know from this series, and all of her dashes cause her wings to turn into a jetpack, and she starts shooting up into the air, giving her an instant air dash into air combos. Sasquatch, instead of a dash, launches himself at you doing a Donkey Kong Country mid-air roll, and he can negate that roll at any time to turn it into one of his normals, but his momentum will still carry forward like a DKC roll jump.
Nice.
Every character has just a little thing like that. But then I found my mans. I thought I was a Dimitri main. He's my favorite Shoto. I love him. But then I discovered Rikuo, the oddly attractive fish man. And this man is my husband now. I love him. I know he has a wife and a child. It's okay. He's the king of his undersea kingdom. He can make exceptions. He can do that. Because I respect him. His dash is that he starts swimming in the ground so that all of his attacks become lows, and he gets new attacks where he turns into a Nautilus tail and he starts using it as a drill that is a multi-hit. So he has just the quickest option of duck under and just go for it. and I love that, but what I love more about him is that he has 2 different moves, one sonic waves, and one where he opens up his gill nipples and shoots out poison gas that put the enemy in a stun state, which can then be linked into his 2 unique command grabs. And I love myself some command grabs, but I'm terrible with them unless they're an armor-based mix-up like Kanji has. So if you give me a stun state so that my pathetic mortal monkey brain can go, oh, I can do a command grab now, and then I can dash under the water into them and then do the command grab, I'm in love!
That does sound very fun.
And then his super is that he summons a giant bubble, and this bubble slowly goes across the screen, and if it captures you, you get trapped inside of the bubble like you're a bubble boy, bubble bobble, and then he can do whatever he wants to you and gets a free combo. So setting up that pressure, combined with the other stun pressure, combined with the threat of command grabs, and he has a Dulcim spin dive kick, I love this man. I love this man so much. And he taught me the importance of, dashing in a fighting game. I feel like I have learned playing as this character. And if he does backdash, he has a unique attack where he can negate it into a front flip kick. And just I love momentum in fighting games so much when I have the brain power to actually do it.
That's always been my biggest hurdle, trying to get into more traditional fighting games. But it is always nice when you play characters like that just click with you and teach you mechanics that can then be used with the rest of the roster. Those
Yes.
That's just best character designs in fighting games.
Absolutely. This just feels like the proper evolution of Street Fighter 2. This feels like it becoming a bit more aggressive, but not overwhelmingly so. And then Darkstalkers 3 comes out, and it's like, okay, you liked Darkstalkers 2, right? What if we made it better? And I'm like, well, damn, Mr. Darkstalkers. Shit, I might love you. Darkstalkers 3 adds so many fun new characters. It adds BB Hood, the Little Red Riding Hood character who is an assassin who kills monsters in the night. She is one of the most beautifully animated characters I have ever seen. Because, she'll skip around and be like, la 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 la, and she'll, try to smack you, but on her third smack, there will be a knife in her hand. And she has a little doggy following her around, and the doggy will be like, arf, arf. And then the knife comes out, and it'll be like, arf.
You sold me so hard on the character design. Just with that.
She'll flail her arm, but instead of her just slapping with her arm, she's flailing her arm and there's an Uzi in it and she's spraying and praying.
She has an Uzi?
Yes!
Yes!
Her super is that she has a sad vision of her grandmother, so she starts crying a puddle of tears, and then while she is crying, uncontrollably, she beats you up, still crying, not even looking in your direction, puts you over her head, and dunks you into the tears of holy water she has made, and then she dusts off her hands, job well done. And then there's Lord Raptor the zombie, who turns you into a basketball and dunks you into a basket made of zombies.
How does this game not have more sequels?
It is incredible. There were 2 PSP exclusive games that were included on the Capcom Fighting Collection. I have not touched those yet because I am just in love with Vampire Survivor right now. Vampire Savior. Fuck. Damn it.
That's what you get for bringing 2 games like that.
God, I'm so ready to be right.
I mean, but wrong. But consider a Vampire Survivor game, but you play as Darkstalkers characters.
That's good. They already have a HoloLive version of it, so that's good, but that's good too. But yeah, just little things, and every character now has a universal mechanic where they just send you into the Darkstalker time, and each character has a unique mechanic for it, QB, the bee girl, who has a command grab where she injects her stinger into you, dies, turns you into a cocoon, and emerges from the cocoon in your body as a new QB, just gets infinite flight during the Darkstalker time.
Okay. That's horrifying. I love it.
It is! This game's great! There's a stage named Fetus of God. It's just a giant fetus in the background in between demon imagery.
Oh, Gygus! Lovely!
No! Like an actual fetus with like eyes and stuff. Like it's not subtle. Go ahead and Google fetus of God.
God, Darkstalkers. Oh, wow.
That's a fighting game stage. And it reacts and starts waking up as you do better in the fight. Because the new Dark God is being born.
Why is there an eye on its foot?
Yes. But yeah, my boy Rikuo, he just gets a tidal wave. And when the tidal wave is going on, he gets on a little trilobite and starts surfing on the tidal wave. And he loses his command grabs while the tidal wave is going on, but he gets super armor on all of his attacks. So you get instant Unga Bunga. I love him so much. Feeling this series grow from its already really strong start into the final form that I have known for years that people love, and I've played a bit of in time and loved it too, but really feeling that, this game is so cool. This series is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a collage of, like, the roster right now, and, like, the amount, how crazily different all the character designs are is kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's just like whatever horror aspect we want to adapt into a fighting game character, we'll do it.
I now want a sequel to a game I've never played.
I
just
feel
to
that
see
often.
more character designs.
Right? So upsetting that it's just Morgan and Felicia, huh?
Mm-hmm. Like, I can easily see why they got the focus.
Yeah.
But, like, there's like an Oni samurai right there next to it. Then there's a golem behind him. Is that a clown? I don't know what that is, but I love it.
What is it?
I'm looking at some Oh, that's the mummy guy. Okay, no, I see it now. It looked like rocks to me.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like, there's the he's got a guitar too. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, no, he's an Australian cultist rock star who wanted to take all of his fans with him. His name is Lord Raptor.
That might be one of the best fighting game character designs I've ever heard of.
Oh, but there's Little Red Riding Hood with an Uzi right there.
I know.
And then there's the boss of this game, Jeddah, who's like that blue-faced Shinigami guy.
Oh yeah, I know Jeddah.
And his super is that he grabs you with a hand of the underworld and he starts just dragging you along the ground. And then he summons a giant contract and he smashes your body into the contract, and your bloody imprint smears it as your signature.
That's really good. I really love that.
He's so sick.
And
I wish I could play him.
Is it like a different imprint for like each individual
character?
Each
character, yes.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Man, seeing what Capcom's doing for Street Fighter 6, I love them to take that passion into like another Darkstalkers game.
God, yeah, I know it wouldn't sell as well as Street Fighter, but
well, if they were managed to like advertise it well, like you can do things with this.
This is an easy Halloween release, but just so really loving my time with this. Can't wait to play the other 7 games on the Capcom Fighting Collection.
I mean, do you need to though when you have this?
They added training modes for these arcade games and the Japanese versions for each one, so you can feel regional differences.
That is such it's so unnecessary, but I love that they did it.
I know, and it changes the title of it on the on the game select screen. So just seeing Red Earth change to Beasterizers is like, oh, that feels good.
I don't understand some title changes like that. Like if you tell me if I want to play Red Earth or Beast Risers.
No, Beastorizers.
Or even better.
Like one word with a Z.
Even better.
But yeah, thoroughly recommend the Capcom Fighting Collection. Buy it. It is real good. I'll tell you how Cyberbots and Puzzle Fighter, Pocket Fighter are. Eventually. Maybe. I don't know. I might not stop playing Darkstalkers ever.
You would be justified in that decision.
Some people never did. And they were right. This fighting game's fantastic.
Delightful.
Please tell me which Darkstalkers character you are oddly attracted to in the comments below. Mine is the fishy man, but also the bee girl.
Honestly, kind of the bee girl. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, that's horrifying. I hate bugs. That's the appeal? I don't know. I don't want to think too hard about that.
It's okay. Her eyes are the things on her head, not the things that look like eyes.
Oh, no. Oh, my. Oh. I did not see that. Okay. I'm horrified now.
Awesome. Alrighty, but that does it for me for games. Otherwise, I'm just going to look at character designs. I'm going to be like, yes, this one. I like how the puppy go a-woo.
Alright. The only other game I've been playing this month was... there have been a lot of great trailers for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. They've been doing a great job hyping that game up. Like, they're bringing back fan favorites. They bring in monsters from the MMO game. Not MMO. There's this Frontier series that was, like, just online only, exclusive Japan, that never made its way over, and they just had a lot of crazy monster designs that they kind of kept separate from the main games, except for, like, 2 in Frontier Ultimate, and that was years ago.
Right.
But now that game is over, they're finally bringing those designs into the game, which is just Pandora's box open. There's like crystal scorpions and things they could fight now. I'm just so excited to see the future of the series now. But I've been really excited for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak now. Only problem is, like, I talked about this before, like in the 2021 recap. Rise is probably the weakest Monster Hunter game in my eyes. And I was trying to find a way to reinvigorate that excitement, while also, because I also wanted to play Sunbreak on PC, just because I never want to play a Monster Hunter game on a Nintendo console again. I'm sorry, they just don't look as good, they don't run as well. The series it feels held back. So I was like, okay, I gotta go on PC now, but I want to play through the game all over again. So I decided that I was going to try to get my brothers and one of my cousins involved in it.
Okay.
Which resulted in despite having put thousands of hours into the series, this is the first time I've played through it with a dedicated hunting group. And I didn't think I could love this series more, but holy shit does that just make this experience 10 times better. Because it's already satisfying to, like, get really good hits on a monster, like, see new designs and freak out at all the crazy things they can do. But having 3 other people in a call with you just screaming out of sheer... Because, like, all 3 of these people haven't really played Monster Hunter games before. So when they're just... So you get, like, the Teostra, which is this really epic fire lion monster that just, after a bit of time, just gathers all this energy around it and just explodes, killing everybody around it instantly. I intentionally didn't tell them it would do that, and just hearing them freak out about it and just be like, what the hell just happened? It's such a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Congratulations on letting someone get hit by the K-Roll Cannonball.
I mean, it really is one of the best feelings.
It feels so good.
And I've never really appreciated, like, the support side of Monster Hunter before. But, like, being able to, like, I went with bow guns this time. I've never really tried to play Monster Hunter, like, focusing on ranged weapons before with the bow guns, because, like, they just have lots of ammunition. I was never really able to, like, dedicate myself to that complexity, but Rise is stupidly easy. So, like, you know what, let's figure this stuff out. And, like, having healing ammo, watching someone get knocked into the air, seeing that their health bar is gone, knowing they're going to be dead when they hit the ground, and being able to snipe them with a healing bullet before they hit the ground, one of the best feelings I've ever experienced in any video game.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. That feels like Crusader's crossbow medic taken up to 11.
It has been just a delightful experience. Made all the better because one of my brothers gravitated towards the hunting horn, which is the support class, which just makes everything you're doing, like, already feels good. But when you have a hunting horn just doubling your damage or making your crit chance better, or just keeping you alive no matter what you do, it's just...
I've played TF2 Soldier, I know what this is.
Yeah, exactly. I want to talk about one monster in particular, because I never really played Generations Ultimate, which was the last game on the Switch. It came out, I didn't get to it immediately, and then, marketing for Monster Hunter World started, and that game just blew it out of the water in every conceivable way.
Understandably so.
So I missed out on a few monsters, mainly the flagship monster that was Valstrax. And I wanted you to picture this really sleek silver dragon, just really cool, but instead of wings, like, it has the same structure as wings, but there's no webbing between them, and the bones get larger as they go out, and they're hollow, because each of those, like, wing arms is a jet engine.
Holy shit. Oh, I just look up a pic. That's just Red Eye's Black Metal Dragon, but more metal.
It's amazing. Like, as it moves through areas, it will literally just Mach 2 burst away from you, and it's just gone. It is one of the craziest fights I've ever seen, but I never got to experience it until now. And getting to just experience that fight raw with 3 other people that have never seen it, just seeing it for the first time. Just
yeah, I can imagine.
We're just kind of, we're on top of a mountain because we were just terrified of going close to it. And it turns towards us, like, it looks like it's charging up, and it just zooms past us towards the other side of the map. It takes like 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds to get there. It's one of the most terrifying things we've ever seen. Such a fantastic first impression. And the fight lives up to it. Those jet engines, it can swivel those around to like point them at you, which just basically turns it into like an artillery barrage of dragon energy. It can like bring them all together and Death Star it to like create a giant laser forward that'll pretty much instantly kill you.
I like this.
And then its super move is it basically turns itself into a shooting star. It will launch up into the stratosphere. You can like see it moving around as if it's a shooting star. You can watch on the minimap as it literally circles around the entire map, and then it dive bombs towards you, which I'm pretty sure you can't survive that no matter what you do if it hits you. Just the first
Understandably so.
The first time that happened, like, we were freaking out. We could barely track it. It killed all 3 of us in a single shot with that.
The instant that this series does a crossover with Yu-Gi-Oh!, you got me. I will play it with you.
No, maddeningly, it has, but just for armor sets.
Excuse me?
There are a few of those in, I think, Generations Ultimate. I can't, hold on. Monster Hunter Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll put a picture on screen for viewers.
Okay.
But like, yeah, you can dress your Palico up, like this.
Is it Karibo? I hope it's Karibo.
There we go.
Oh, that's confusing.
Yeah, it's only for the Palicos, but like, it shows that they're willing to do it. Which drives me, because they have had crossover monsters before. There's Behemoth from Final Fantasy and the Leshen from Witcher. And like, they just need to take one more step.
Just let me hunt Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Someday, hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
Do you know how many online arguments he would win? In the who would win in a fight between this dragon and this dragon if he had that?
Monster Hunter could just become like the greatest crossover of like video game monsters, movie monsters. Like, people were thinking they were gonna put Ghidorah in World. There was like teasing for that, never happened. But like,
oh man, oh dear, that's a sexy offer.
I will say, as much as I've enjoyed this experience, like, this was the perfect way to like get back into Monster Hunter Rise. This game is still so goddamn easy. Like, it's even easier than I thought it was going to be, because I also tried the English voice acting in Monster Hunter for the first time. At first, I hated it because it's so corny and your hunters are just spouting off one-liners constantly. But the corniness kind of adds to the Monster Hunter charm, and it's been growing on me pretty heavily. But I learned that they actually, like, will call out vocal cues, like, look out, or it's coming for you. Here comes a big one. Just whenever a monster's going to use like a super move, it basically tells you like, okay, sheath your weapon and get ready to dive, and you just don't ever die to those sorts of things because of that.
Oh,
Like, all those same problems still apply. I've talked about before. Like, the wire bug offers so much mobility, and the monsters just cannot keep up.
Oh.
But bowguns especially, like, there's one with the light bowgun where you literally just fire the wire bug out and just swing on it like a pendulum, but horizontally. Looks so cool. Like, you're just skating across the ground and you can shoot while doing it. But like,
oh, that sounds fun.
A monster can't keep up with you while doing that. They're trying to aim for where you were. You're halfway across the map by the time they catch up with you. I don't know. Hopefully, Sunbreak gives them the mobility they need, because otherwise, I don't know if I want the wire bug to come back. The monsters need to be able to keep up with it, otherwise it just kind of... It's still fun, but it's approaching mindless territory for me.
I can see that. I can see how this is a great game for newcomers of the Monster Hunter series to jump in and try with their friends.
Oh yeah, it has been great for that.
But I think that tell me if it's fair to say that it's been supplementing that with fan service for older Monster Hunter fans.
Oh yeah, there's so many monsters coming back in this. Like, I don't know how they're gonna bring back Gore Magala. It was a monster from the 4th generation that like literally corrupted every other monster in the game and changed them up as well. But like, they're bringing it back, and that's awesome. And I can't wait to see how they do that.
Well, okay then.
again, they're bringing the frontier monsters in, the online monsters. Like that's like 80 designs that were never we kind of just wrote off, would never get into the game, and now they can.
I saw that there's like a sexy vampire dragon that has like little birds or something.
Oh yeah, there's just straight up Dracula. There's a very European mythology styled monsters this time around. Like you got a lycanthrope, an ice werewolf. You got Frankenstein's monster is this really big green armored monkey. I think I showed you that to you a couple.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's just a lot of great creature designs.
Yeah, I saw a cool spider one, and I'm like, oh, Duke would hate that, but I love it.
You know what? I unironically love the spider. It is weird enough that it doesn't like get that arachnophobia vibes from me, and the fight's so good. It has all of its babies on its butt there, and it will actually throw them out connected to webs and pull itself towards you using the babies, like kind of using its babies as its own wire bugs.
Oh gosh, I love the ass baby meta.
It also just has like an uncomfortably long neck. Like it looks like a spider, but then it'll like extend its neck forward, and it's got it's straight up like a praying mantis claw in how it folds inwards and extend outward to try to grab you. It's freaky, but in a way that like really makes you appreciate the creative creature design.
Nice.
But yeah, I love Monster Hunter, even when it's the easiest in the series. It's still an absolute delight, and I haven't started Sunbreak yet. We've been waiting for like everybody to be available before we actually start that content, but like I'm gonna be talking about it so much next month.
Alright, that's fair. I will prepare to sit here and look at pretty pictures and go, yes. So when's Red Eye's Black Dragon? Yeah,
I mean, you never know. Might be this time.
I promise you that will be my commentary.
Looking forward to it.
Alrighty.
But that's all the games I've been playing. It's just been
all right.
A lot of Monster Hunter, a lot of teamfight tactics.
Yep. I would like to pour one out for a good friend, Joy McFight, who did not show up for like the first time ever.
Yeah, but hey, we kept our streak alive. Oh shit! I haven't complained about Xenoblade 2. Oh no. I only watched like 2 episodes. Shit! Oh no!
What happened to them? Say one thing. What made you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, you know what? The Nopon Torah, literally word for word, said in regards to another character like telling a story, that he was disappointed by poor plot pacing.
Torah disappointed by poor plot pacing.
And I was crying, laughing. Just
hey, we did it!
Also, like legitimate complaints. There's a great character in there. I think it's technically a spoiler, so I won't say like who. But it's the kind of character that I'm a girl, but I dress like a guy, and I'm like super militaristic and stuff. So like yeah. And it's just the amount of times that's made as a butt of a joke. Like I'm not offended by it, but I'm really tired of that.
Yes. And how?
I was just like the same Nopon can't tell that she's a girl because she dresses like a guy. And it's just we're still doing this.
Yes.
Do people still find this funny? I don't know.
It's funny forever.
There. Quotamet. There we go. Are you ready for this abomination of a news segment?
Future Sight.
Future Sight.
Okay, let's go. I have a lot of things, so let's just get into it.
Okay.
Great start. Junichi Matsuda has left Game Freak to join the Pokemon Company as Chief Creative Fellow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that is the same title that Miyamoto has at Nintendo, right?
Yes, I don't know if he's Chief Creative Fellow, though.
Oh. It's become a bit of a title dick measuring contest, okay.
Yes, no. It's okay, Chief and/or Kacho is just a title that means nothing to make people with low self-esteem feel better about themselves.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Let me ask you, when I promote you to executive podcast co-host.
Oh, wow! Executive!
See, don't you feel better?
You know what? I actually kind of do.
There you go! But yeah, guy who made the Matsuda method and a lot of interesting things in Pokemon's gameplay is now just in the more copyright and brand portion of the company now.
Well, maybe it'll be nice for Pokemon to have like some fresh eyes on it, fresh leadership. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the role he played. I just know that Pokemon needs some fresh blood injected into it.
Well, is this fresh blood in the form of a cute little piggy named Lechonk?
Yeah.
Because we also got more details on Pokemon Scarlet and the other one, Crimson, Violet.
I think it's Violet.
Yeah, Scarlet and Violet. And there's going to be a past one and a future one, and both of the professors are hotties.
I am more interested in this than I was in Legends Arceus and in Sword and Shield. I will say that at least.
I agree.
I am feeling something towards it.
The fact that they're introducing a non-linear gym challenge is like, good. That makes sense. It's not going to sell me on the game because it's just like a thing of, maybe Brock shouldn't be one of the greatest trainers of all time if he just has a Geodude and an Onix, and the only thing that addresses it is Pokemon Origins. But, that'll be nice. I doubt a lot of the lessons learned from Arceus will be in this game because there just hasn't been enough time.
Yeah, maybe the game after. I think they're going to try after seeing how, I don't want to say how universally received, because it kind of just felt like how people going like, hey, yeah, this Pokemon game's actually fun.
Yeah.
Not actually fun. Pokemon's always fun, but it was like, yeah, the whole spiel about Pokemon, but
it exceeded the Booze Fury line.
Exactly, there we go. I will say, as much as I am intrigued by this one, those legendary designs are just great. It's just, I really don't like them. I don't know if it's because they're too busy, or that the future one it's just a dick. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, but Pokemon's always had dicks. There's so many dicks in Pokemon. There was that big skyscraper one last generation. I'm like, that's a big dick.
I don't know. I like the idea behind the theming. I just don't like the legendaries.
That's fine. I never like the legendaries, and then one will grow on me.
I miss just ethereal birds from the first gen, or ethereal dogs from the second gen.
I don't think I've liked a box art legendary since Ho-Oh and Lugia.
I mean, Rayquaza is pretty cool.
He's okay to me. I honestly feel that Salamence is a bear dragon design in the same generation.
Oh, I agree with that, but for that sort of Chinese wind serpent sort of design, it works.
It's a worse Gyarados.
Actually, no, I'll defend Kyogre. Kyogre's cool.
It's a big fish.
It's
cool.
A big fish.
He grew on me, but as a kid, I was like, I don't care about either of these guys. This one's a fish.
Can we agree that Groudon still looks kind of just...
Groudon's there.
It's too geometric. I could say that about 80% of Pokemon designs from the third generation onward.
I think that Lunala is the only one that I have a large preference for you over the other.
I can
and that's
see that.
About it. Moving on, we had the PlayStation State of Play early on, and this was actually a doozy of one.
Really good. They still haven't shown their first party titles, and yet they're still in this E3 not E3. They're coming out pretty strong.
Yeah. We had Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is a remake of Resident Evil 4.
I loved that intro. Just being yeah, we're just gonna start with the release date and the music. Yeah, you'll get it.
You know what this is. Font. You get it instantly, and they're right. I don't have that much more to say other than show us the attaché case, you cowards. And that it looks, less comedic than RE4 regular, just in the way that lines are delivered.
It's definitely following the trend of 2 and 3, the remakes.
Yes,
but
yes, definitely.
I think it's a bad thing.
I don't think so. I love the campiness of RE4, so. It's more of a note, and I'm interested, as opposed to Leon say the thing. Then there was Stray, which I will not be buying because I cannot stand being bad at it.
If that cat has to get killed by monsters, I don't know if I could handle it.
I can't do it.
It's adorable.
It is adorable. I love the art style. I love the idea of playing as a cute cat in a stealth game. That's just great. My heart will not take it. It will not take it.
Nope, I'm in the same boat.
We also had announced their Rollerdrome, which was a skating game where you shoot things.
Yeah, That was indeed.
I like
looks
that.
Neat. There's going to be a lot of games in this that look neat. I just don't have much more to say about it.
Yep.
Like, there's hundreds. We can only get through so many.
I know that this ended it, but I feel like it's more pertinent with stories later to do this right now. Final Fantasy 16. Got the big show closing trailer with that, and it deserved it.
Oh, yes.
Because, wow, can you tell that is the Final Fantasy 14 team?
Yeah. Dude, that ending off with just chanting the summon names,
Yes.
I got goosebumps.
It just, like, some people are like, oh, that's a little cringe. No, lean into it harder. Oh, man.
If you can actually play as, like, a giant kaiju summons, it looks like you might be able to. I'm 100% getting that game.
I hope so. I don't know, because, like, in every game that has kaiju versus kaiju combat, like, what's one that felt really good?
On the GameCube, Godzilla Kings of Monsters. It was a fighting game.
Destroy All Monsters Melee, yes. Okay, so there's one.
Does Shadow of the Colossus count? It's not. Well, it's not.
No,
kaiju versus
you don't
kaiju.
play as them. Yeah, and Live Alive. So there's two examples, and one of them is a turn-based RPG.
I do believe in the Final Fantasy team that they could make it work.
Oh, I believe that they can make it work, but, like, this will be monumental if and when they make it work. Because, like, King Kong for the PlayStation 2 is within your top 5.
And Bayonetta 3 might do it. It kind of looks like it does.
Anyway, I'm excited.
Yeah, looks cool.
I don't have much more to say on that. Apparently the protagonist fucks, so that's nice.
A dog might be a member of the party, and based on
like
how the
dogs.
party members function in that game, it might also be the host of a summon.
I don't like how you put that right after I said the protagonist fucks.
Wasn't intentional, just the only other thing I know about the game.
Yeah, and a dog. Like, no phrasing.
I like the vibe of this one. It's been a while since I've really felt that high fantasy vibe from Final Fantasy, and this is getting that good.
I agree. They're saying that the game is in a completable state right now, and they're taking all of the rest of the time they have to finish it.
Nice. Okay,
Good.
because that's been the problem for a while with Final Fantasy.
Yes. The more polish you add on to the finished skeleton, instead of just, these ideas are nice. It would be nice if they were fleshed out. Yeah. Like, good. Thank you for taking the time. That is the difference between the great Final Fantasies and Final Fantasy VIII had some ideas.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We can finish 14 later. Just make another game.
But the big thing for me, at least personally, going into this was Street Fighter 6.
We know that I don't have much of an attachment to Street Fighter 6. That game looks amazing.
Absolutely incredible. I'm glad that they added the famous character, the Street, back into Street Fighter.
But yo, what is that, like, adventures kind of mode? That looks sick.
I am so glad that they are adding a robust single-player campaign to it. Like,
finally.
At first, my soul went off with, like, warning lights of, oh god, it's Final Fight Streetwise. No. But then I realized, oh wait, no, this could be a good game, though. And that's really the thing with a lot of fighting games, is that there's always this idea of wanting to be number one and getting to that high level of competitive play and feeling that adrenaline of all the little things that you're doing right, which is amazing and is something to strive for, and is also something only 1% or so of your player base is gonna feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been talking about this with, like, retail strategy games, times I've brought them up. That's like what killed Blizzard before it killed itself again.
It's good to keep it healthy. Like, if it's a sport and you want to be the best at it, then by all means do it. But, like, being able to have these large, expansive modes that are a lot more fun and a lot more focused on basic progression and growth and getting stronger, that's going to be what hooks a majority of people. That's what's going to make Street Fighter fans that aren't, like, competitive Street Fighter players, but just enjoy Street Fighter and pick it up as whenever it releases.
Yeah.
And SF hasn't had that since, like, 2 and I guess a little bit in 4.
It might be speaking a little too soon, but this really feels like just the energy around the game feels like a resurgence for Street Fighter. I feel, especially after 5, I feel like it just kind of, yeah, it's there, but like nobody cares.
5 got there, but it had maybe the roughest release that a game that eventually got good could have. Like, it's in the No Man's Sky contention category.
But even then, like, but by the point you get to there, you lose the casual market. Like it's so hard to grab them back.
A Street Fighter game did not close EVO during one of the years SF5 was the big one.
Yeah.
And that's a telltale sign right there.
But 6? Oh, 6 looks, it's so beautiful.
The vibe of it, purely, is incredible. Just the fact that it's not so much going back to the Third Strike hip-hop roots, but sort of advancing it in time, as this is a game that takes place in the timeline after Third Strike.
Yeah, this is like the latest on the timeline now, right?
Yes.
Which, that's exciting. I don't know anything about Street Fighter lore, but just having that, again, getting that Metroid Dread finally, is just great.
Yeah, so the timeline for Street Fighter is 1, 0, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6.
Great. Sure.
Got that?
I guess I get that because, like, if you're gonna kill characters in, like, story modes, but in a fighting game, you want to play those characters again, which I know fighting games are just gonna be, like, M. Bison's coming back, I'm pretty sure, no matter what.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm just really excited. Luke has gone in a full rebound from, oh god, he's so ugly, to, oh god, he's such a little shit. Like, I get Bowser Jr. energy off of Luke now, and I love that.
Ryu's got the best design he has ever had.
Yes.
By a wide... Like, his design was already good, but, like, just holy shit, what did they do?
I like how they're aging up the characters, because at this point, the World Warriors are, like, in their late 40s, early 50s. And they're doing a really solid job with all of them.
Chun-Li does not just do only leg days. She is now advanced to a point where she has created more days in the week just to do more leg days.
Everyone looks great. I love the hip-hop intro to every single one. Just like having that small touch, that little, the want to take you for a ride, your come on and make the first pick, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. That sort of thing that, like, people will quote about the game. SF4 had that with Indestructible, but SF5 almost totally skipped out on it. Just those little things that add to the identity of this game. It's got such a strong sense of identity, and it has 5 characters officially revealed right now, I think?
Yeah. Well, technically 6, because there was one tease at the end of the initial trailer. I think Kimberly was her name.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I didn't remember if they showed Cammy yet, or...
I mean, they technically did. There was just a very small bit of that end screen.
Right.
But, like, I'm impressed that I'm even loving the new characters. Like, the drunken boxing with the long braids that's breakdancing as he's kicking people. That guy's sick.
Yeah.
I loved him. Guile has a switchblade comb.
Well, he's always had that.
Yeah, but I've never noticed.
He's just great. Yeah, no, Guile's great. He's got the ugly beard. All the guys are getting ugly beards. It's awesome.
And I don't want to say anything about, like, individual characters on the leaks, but I have seen the leaks, and just, like, I love all of the designs so much.
Well, that's what I was going to discuss if you wanted to just look over the leaks and just say, like, a spoiler thing, because Capcom spoiled itself, and then this leak came out.
Yeah, spoiler warning right here. I'll have a timestamp.
So I got the image right here of what leaked out, and it looks like either this is the starting roster or Wave 1 DLC after it. So.
And just, like, I love all of the design. I don't know these characters at all, but except for a very surface level, but I'm seeing Punished Ken right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who DJ is, but he's giving me Lucio vibes, and I love it.
He was the first Street Fighter character designed by an American, actually. So.
Oh.
And he's always been nondescript and boring, so he's a weird pull, but he's nice to have. It's great to see Rashid back, because that was a big fan favorite character from 5. Juri is back. I love her. I will always love her. I will never be able to play as her, but I love her. And then starting from Luke on is all of the new characters.
Wow. I'm impressed they're being that ballsy with just like, okay, we're gonna focus on the new over the old right now. Like,
there's quite a density of old there.
Yeah, but it's different than I expect. Like, I know all these characters, which, except for Ed. No idea who Ed is, but...
Ed is Balrog's child, who he adopted.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all look great. I don't have anything to say other than just, like, well done.
The fact that there's a character named JP terrifies me, because then I'm like, are you going to pay off the G and Q lore? Also, have you ever seen, Duke, a picture of G from Street Fighter V?
Oh, no, I know G. I know G.
Okay, good. Good. Then you understand why I'm excited. Because in a DLC character implied that he is the greatest future threat to humanity.
I mean, hell yeah.
I'm so excited to see where it will go. We have Marissa, that's just Knuckles, but a buff girl. I love it.
Oh, Jamie was in it. Yeah, Jamie. I love Jamie's design so much.
Yeah.
If you can actually smack people with the braids as well. Same goes for Kimberly. It looks like that's the case for Kimberly. Just like, yes, please. I love braid weapons.
Yes. But yeah, it's so nice to be excited for this as opposed to like the usual drip feed of fighting game things. Because now it's not a matter of, oh god, who's going to get in? It's a matter of, oh, I can't wait to see them in motion.
It makes you almost wonder if it was intentional. Like, that gets into conspiracy theory type of stuff. But if like, I wouldn't put it past some clever marketing people to know like, yeah, we got something special here. Let's just ease people's minds and just get all that excitement going. Get that energy flowing. Like, the amount of videos that Maximilian Dude has made on it.
Oh, I know. Thank you, Max. Like, most of these were spoiled by Max looking into a video and going, and in the background here, you can see various things. Is that Jury?
Just getting a better 4K version of that screenshot and be like, oh my gosh, every single name on this tournament bracket shows a character.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. I've never cared about Street Fighter before.
I know, I'm excited, and I'm in love with Darkstalkers, but this may bring me back. Okay, and that wraps up the PS State of Play. Cool, that was the third news article.
I'm sorry, but I actually have something from State of Play too.
Okay, no, hit me.
My actually game of the show was Callisto Protocol. Being made by the same people that made the original Dead Space seems to be capturing that vibe to a T. Seeing that...
That's just Dead Space.
It is just Dead Space, but I've missed Dead Space for so long.
You're right to.
I'm getting 2 now. Like, back-to-back months. And they both look great. Just, the fact that you can pick up enemies and throw them into rotating buzzsaws, only to get knocked into those buzzsaws yourself. Like, it is just doubling down on just the horror of it. Like, even after Dead Space, just Dead Space 2, they make Isaac too quippy, there's too much story going on, but no, it's right back to the roots of just like, okay, you are in this world and you are in danger. The environmental sound effects, the constant silence broken by just the terrifying screams of these monsters, the creature designs are so great. You got like this, how do I describe this? Like this head on a very elongated spine that will like launch out at you like a snake and latch on you, pull you back, but it's also got tentacles that wrap, almost like a face hugger if like its tail was 20 feet long.
Right.
And just, oh, I'm in love. I'm so in love. You have like a melee weapon now, so you can actually like bash monsters away as they get close. It does have a dodge button, which I'm not entirely fond of. I need to see how that works better, but just everything I've seen about this game, it does a really cool thing with like telling story in the game, where you'll have like, you know how games like this have audio logs that you kind of just have to stop and listen to, and it kind of breaks up the pacing?
Yes.
They do this by, with holograms. Like, kind of showing a hologram of what was happening during that time. Like, you'll see, the example they showed was like, there was this guy on an operating table that was becoming infected, and he started attacking the people near him. And like, as the hologram fades, you can see that where it left the people it attacked, their bodies are still there. And it's so good from an environmental storytelling perspective.
Ooh.
But yeah, Callisto Protocol, favorite game they showed this month. I can't wait to play it.
Very nice. Do you know what game you might not be excited to play?
Hit me.
Cool. It might be Sonic Frontiers, because Hard Drive reports that Sega announces the latest Sonic game will be one of the bad ones.
Will it?
Or is it?
The wheel of Sonic, the wheel of fortune is ever turning. We will see how it lands on. I don't have high hopes from what I've seen.
I always believe that Sonic is, but this part is really good, though. I'm latching onto this part, the series.
True. And they have shown, like, those little dimensional rifts. Those
Yes.
look nice.
When they take you to the city dimension, that looks so cool. And, like, I don't think that Sonic is ever going to look great in animation. Well, not necessarily totally in animation, but just, like, his animations are isolated from the world around him. Always. Like, that's just what Sonic is and what Sonic do, so... In previews, I think Sonic is always going to look janky. It's a matter of feel. It really is.
Yes, but, like, it does not look good to like, stop in that game. Running seems fine, but anytime you have to stop for anything, like, it just grinds the whole game to a halt.
Yeah. As usual, Sonic looks good, except when it's bad. That's Sonic.
Yeah, if they can turn it around, like, props to them, but, like, I'm not expecting much from what I've seen.
I think every single Sonic game, more than many others, is just a matter of latching on to the good and going through the bad to get to more good. I don't think that there's a single Sonic game that doesn't apply to.
Mania? I think Mania.
Mania has the Mirage Saloon, that weird auto-scroller with the caterpillar.
Oh, I never got that far.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't
But
like
what
that.
I played was fun.
Yeah. Mania, I think, would come the closest, though. But yeah, that is that. U.S. copyrights filed for Nintendo Studios, LLC, and M Brothers Productions, LLC.
That's interesting, because, like, that's not a sign that it's gonna be good, but, like, that sounds like movie studios, right?
That sounds like they're planning more.
Which, like, it makes sense to do. Like, it's an untapped market for them, and they've got characters that could carry games. You've seen how well Detective Pikachu's doing, how well the Sonic movies are doing. It's no brainer.
That's the thing. They've tapped the market before. Like, the Pokemon movies have come out, Detective Pikachu, the Mario Brothers movie, but they've never made, like, a dedicated branch toward it.
So it's interesting, like, to see that, like, are they hard committing now?
I think, yeah, this feels like a sign that they are going in on this, and we'll see it for probably at least the next 5 years.
I would love if Sakurai's next project is a Kirby movie. Or a Kirby TV series, something like that.
I am, like, insanely confident in the Donkey Kong movie coming out. Like, I have almost no doubt now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, more projects in line with that. Rockman X Dive introduces Dr. Light as a playable character, as a martial artist based on his appearance in Mega Man X.
I have no idea what that game is, but that sounds amazing. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, mostly neither do I, but, like...
That splash art alone.
Yeah, it's a bad
Ryu,
mobile game,
father.
I'm sure. It's not a great mobile game, but it's just... Look at me, I'm doing the Shoryuken.
Oh yeah, the gameplay doesn't look good, but that theming, that's
You
that's
must
pretty
defeat
great.
Shen Wang to stand a chance against me, Mega Man.
If they could bring that into a Mega Man game and make it work, I'd love that.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, this game looks awful.
I just wanted to show that. Meta Knight intimidates the Grammy committee into making a new category for video game music.
Finally.
I feel like this is a gut reaction, just how, like, the Oscars added a category for animated movies after they had to nominate Beauty and the Beast for Best Picture when 1991 was so weak. But at the same time, finally...
There's a lot of, how do I put this? A lot of attitudes around, like, oh, that's not real music, or, oh yeah, those aren't real movies, you know, that kind of sort of thing.
Yes.
And so it's nice to see them start getting the recognition they deserve.
I agree.
Because it takes skill to make those sorts of things, and that skill should be rewarded and highlighted.
And I feel like video game music does have a different tack and a different set of rules for its composition than most other forms of music. So I understand why it's an entirely different category.
Oh, for sure.
So it's really nice to just see that actually celebrated in the future. Thank you, Meta Knight. The Last of Us, to be released for the third time in 1 decade as a different full-price game.
Oh, that is such a hornet's nest to poke, talking about Last of Us. I've tried playing the first one, and I just can't. Camera makes me sick, and it's just too depressing.
Yeah, I haven't touched them just because I haven't felt a strong need to. I watched the DLC of the first one, and that was enjoyable. I liked that little story that they had.
Yeah, I think the storytelling behind it is sound. I just, like, on one hand, there's, like, the crunch culture at Naughty Dog. I'm not terribly fond of how that sounds.
Right.
On the other, it's so unnecessary to remake this game again.
Yes. But they can make
it
prettier.
You could be working on another you remake Jak and Daxter. You could be working on, like, you put more emphasis on that multiplayer thing they talked about. I just talked about, even though that's been talked about for years.
All right, they're also taking out the multiplayer from this version.
Yeah, because apparently it's going to be its own separate thing. But, like,
I guess.
Remaking it, but not, I don't know.
It feels weird that video games make remaking the same art such a technical achievement and a highlight. Because it doesn't fit with other forms of media. Like, when they remade Psycho shot for shot, it was panned because it was so derivative. It wasn't a celebration of the advancements of technology doing the same techniques but better, which is what ostensibly video game remakes like this are.
I do think video game remakes have a bit of a difference just because of, for one, there is a wonder to seeing what you had envisioned as a kid bring fully to life. It doesn't really work for video remakes like this because, again, 3 times in 10 years.
I agree.
But also seeing, like, gameplay technical advancements, because I know there was a lot that changed from 1 to 2, and if they bring the stuff from 2 to 1, which is the only way I could see them, like, justifying this, maybe, sure.
I get that, but I feel like that's a matter of insecurity, just saying,
yeah,
you know, our product wasn't good enough or isn't good enough. I feel like there's a difference between a remake like this and a remake like, say, Kirby Superstar Ultra, or even the Demon's Souls remake, which, yeah, that game, no, it needed the polish. Like, everyone could see that, even on release.
This just feels like someone higher up. Maybe they're trying to reinvigorate the brand after how polarizing 2 was? I don't know. They are investing a lot into it. Like, there's the TV show, the multiplayer-centric game. They're probably going to keep making more.
I feel like the longer that we sit here at this same point, the less video games are going to advance as a medium that's looking to challenge itself, at least in the AAA space.
Yeah. I can agree with that full-heartedly. I would rather they were working on something else. Because they can make some pretty crazy stuff. I don't enjoy the Last of Us games, but, like, technically they are marvels.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that the additional polygons in Joel's angry beard will get to be there and shine and shimmer.
I'm talking more gameplay stuff.
No, I'm just talking the beard. Street Fighter 6 proved that that's the future.
You know what? Fair. The beards really are just
the
next up-and-coming trend.
Yeah, but as Action Hank told me as a young child, it's not about the beard on the outside, it's the beard on the inside. And I feel so little inner beard from The Last of Us.
For sure.
All right, next is the Xbox Game Showcase. So, like, Silksong exists.
Yay! Oh, it's not like it was going to get canceled or anything, but just seeing it, just having the meme be real, it just feels so good.
Yes. Also, I know Jeff Keighley had a show. I don't care.
There's a few things I could talk about from that, but I just have small things. I wanted to mock The Rock talking about nothing for 3 minutes in a row, just to sponsor that. That was dumb, but hilarious.
No, that's The Rock, dude. That's just The Rock.
The Goat Simulator 3 trailer was legitimately amazing. Playing off of the Dead Island 2 trailer, like, frame for frame, like, shot for shot. And, like, there's not a Goat Simulator 2. They just skipped to 3.
I know how numbers work. It's like when Final Fantasy VII came out, and it was so good that they skipped 4, 5, and 6. There
was a game shown called Stormgate. Ex-StarCraft developers, which should have me excited. It was such a bad trailer. Like, legitimately,
it's also such a bad name.
A bad trailer. Like, sound design was just, like, awful. Like, that was some, like, early 2000s level of just, like, what? I don't know if they had to rush it for Summer Games Fest, but just...
They're playing on your StarCraft nostalgia when everything was early 2000s.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But like the pedigree of the developers has me excited for like what could be another like great RTS, which hasn't really happened since StarCraft 2. Well, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, but like that's just still this good because it's still Age of Empires 2. But I would love for this to be good. I am thoroughly underwhelmed by the first impression. It's also free to play. I don't know how that works. A free to play real RTS doesn't sound right.
Well, you just buy the new unit. No, and if you don't have it, then you can't train against it, so you gotta buy the new unit.
They can't do that. That's not going to work.
Yeah, they can. It's called fighting games.
Nah, man, you need like... Unless they're like having you purchase multiple roles for the same thing, but even then, like, you can't mess with that kind of balance in RTSs.
No, you just have the barracks, and then you'll have the DLC barracks. And the DLC barracks will be better than the regular barracks.
It is being designed around, like, cooperative multiplayer battles. Like, a 3v3 is the focus. That's fascinating to me. I've never seen... Like, if they can, like, present it in a way that you're, like, actively, like, defending and empowering your allies, like, that's some untouched design space right there. StarCraft only did it with the co-op campaigns, and those were amazing. So, like, I want to be hopeful. I hope I get and say nice things about it in the future.
Yeah.
And that's all I cared about from all I remember from Summer Games Fest, so all I cared about.
Gotcha. All right. Let's hit the Xbox list. Halo and Flight Simulator. Cool.
Cool.
Hot Wheels.
Also cool.
Hot Wheels. Like, I just thought, is that a Hot Wheels track? And it was Hot Wheels. I was like, pfft. Like that meme of the guy going, he will never be ballin'. Except it is not Hot Wheels. I don't know. Something about the orange floating road makes me so happy.
I went from, like, zero interest to just enthralled. And, like, in a very short amount of time there. It caused a bit of whiplash.
Let's see. Overwatch 2 reveals a character and then releases a trailer introducing that character as a new character.
Okay, I can explain that, because I was part of the hype train for Overwatch original. That is teasing the, they're doing the character cinematics again. Which I am actually very happy about, because those were some of the best things to come out of Overwatch.
Okay, that just felt really weird to me.
It was weird. They should have... That was poorly paced, like... that was cheap as well. The Junker Queen was a character that I would... I was really into Overwatch when it first came out, and I was, like, brainstorming characters that I wanted to be in it, and that was a character that was teased a while back, so that was something that me and a close friend of mine would often talk about. So they're playing with a nostalgia bone here that I'm not appreciating. I'm actually feeling things here.
Yeah.
And I don't... Just like, I would love to live in a world where, like, 2 years down the line, I can say positive things about Overwatch 2. But it has just been... I have a theory that Overwatch is being, like, used as a butt of joke. Not a butt of a joke, but just... How do I put this? The higher-ups at Blizzard are timing their stuff around when Overwatch is having announcements just to hide their own wrongdoing.
That's called what they've been doing for years, though.
Like they had the whole thing of just like, oh, Activision Blizzard finds nothing wrong with their own internal investigations, and that was right.
We're getting
when the
to
beta,
that, yeah.
But that was right when the beta was like going forward, and it just makes me wonder, like, are they just like waiting to hear what the Overwatch team is planning, and then going like, okay, yeah, no, we're fine, but like there's Overwatch right here. Pay attention to that instead. Yeah, it's so slimy.
But at the same time, they announced their roadmap and said that PvE will be at the end of it.
No.
Yes.
No.
That feature that was defining as to why it's Overwatch 2, that's at the end of the roadmap.
Oh my god. I've also heard reports that, like, the reason that there's so little content is that, like, Bobby Kotick was trying to move the Overwatch people to, like, make other Overwatch projects, but they just got canned. And they'd go on to blame the developers for, like, oh yeah, they're just not working well enough.
Yeah, I believe it.
I feel so bad for the developers.
Yep, it sucks. You know what doesn't suck? Lightyear Frontier mecha farming. That just looked nice.
That did look
nice.
It
looked nice.
I feel like the name, like, with the Pixar movie coming out, maybe a better name. Like, you're gonna Google that name.
This is gonna be the better Lightyear game.
Hey, there's some amazing Toy Story games out there featuring Buzz Lightyear.
You're correct. Actually, you're correct. The word Lightyear is in the title of that one. Yeah, never mind. Honey,
nice.
I Shrunk the Kids 4?
Grounded's been out in early access for a while. Like, I don't want to play it, but it looks nice.
Yeah.
I'd be terrified.
It makes me laugh every time I see it.
That is a game that I wouldn't be caught dead on a stream, just because the shrill screams of terror when I realized there was a spider behind me would be... Ugh.
Fair. I have this listed as Cool Shadow Ubisofty game.
Ooh, Erebon. That weird thing. I have always thought that if I wanted to make a game, I'd want it to be a game where you like move through shadows and like just some sort of shadow creature. This is literally a game I've just like a conceptual dream in the back of my head. I'm so happy with this game, even though I don't know if I'll play it, but like that was just happy.
No, I need to see how much Ubisoft is in this Ubisoft-ass looking Ubisoft game. I don't
Even
even know if it's developed by
an Ubisoft game, I'll still play it.
But it just looks like Scan the Towers.
Oh yeah, it's Shadow Assassin's Creed, but it's Shadow Assassin's Creed. I like that.
Yeah. Diablo 4, Necromancer, and Open World.
Oh, okay. On one hand, it looks fucking perfect. Diablo 3 was it was a solid 7 out of 10 for me in terms of what I liked about 2. 4 looks so good, but at the same time, you have to put down a mortgage to max out Diablo Immortal, and I just don't trust it. Yeah, I want it to be good. I love Diablo. That studio's been pretty much untouched by the shit that's going on at Blizzard, and I want this to, like, revitalize the franchise, but, like, God,
yeah.
I don't have to explain why this is conflicting.
And they have, like, strongholds and player choice and this other shit that, I don't care.
The world's interactive? No, I care immensely. I love it. But, like, is the game going to be good?
No, I feel like that distracts from the game. I was like, oh, so you're making it less Diablo and more AAA. Cool.
I don't know. Based on how they've been describing it, I'm all in if they don't fuck it up with the business side of it.
I am way too bitter to believe that is even a slim chance of a possibility that won't be fucked with.
Yeah.
Like, 3 was fucked with, dude.
No, I remember the auction house. I remember. I want to believe. It's not going to happen. Because
what have they done in the past 25 years? I'm sorry, that Diablo 2 came out in the past 25 years. 20 years!
And the remake for D was also pretty good.
Yes.
I don't know. This is going to decide the fate of Blizzard.
Probably.
Like, if they're going to be able to hold on to those properties, or if they're just going to get dissolved by Microsoft. It's like, if you fuck that up, I could not dissolve. It's too big for that, but...
I kinda want them to be dissolved.
Conflicting emotions. I feel like if it's not possible to, like, cut the head off the snake and, like, siphon out the poison, then yes. But I would also hate to just let that win, if that makes sense.
I mean, we don't know, because, like, we don't know if it's dead or not. And I'd rather let it die than to have it keep shambling on.
It's gonna shamble on regardless. Like, if it gets dissolved, it's just its properties are gonna go elsewhere. The developers are gonna go elsewhere.
Well,
like,
yeah, but then...
That's not how the industry works.
Well, yeah, but, like, the Shambly Bambly gets to go to somewhere else, and maybe it'll get a nice home and a little shamble wife.
I mean, that's really what's happening with... hopefully, what's happening with Microsoft.
Yeah, I hope that Diablo's shamble wife is nice to it. Anyway, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Lovecraftian Metroidvania.
That looks sick. That game looks amazing.
I was like, yes, on my radar. Absolutely. Pentiment, classic medieval-style adventure game by Obsidian.
Was that the old medieval art style game?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That looked neat.
Yeah, it did. I just bring it up because, Obsidian. Know that name. Sea of Thieves announced an update through song. More of that, please.
Yes, please, more of that. It's not gonna get me to go back, but, like, you can just have that come back, please. It's a nice way to break up the flow of the presentation and just smile for a bit.
Yeah, just, like, please make me happy sometimes. I have whatever Ravenlock is.
Oh, that was the weird Alice in Wonderland thing.
Yeah,
I need to see more combat, but like 10 out of 10 art style.
Yeah. All caps. Persona 3 Portable, and also P4 and P5.
What? Good. Way to steal the thunder from Nintendo's thing that came later.
Well, yeah, but like at the same time, Persona 3 Portable though.
Yeah, that's neat. I'll play it now because it'll be on PC.
Yeah, if you're playing it for the first time, I strongly recommend you play it as the female protagonist.
Okay.
They were just figuring out the social links when they started making P3, and a lot of the male ones are just bad. Like, just really bad. And you don't get to social link with your male party members.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You only get to date the girls.
There's not even, like, just bromance, like Ryuji with... It's just none at all?
No male party member social links.
Wow, okay.
P3P, female route, you get social links with all of them, guys and girls.
Oh, yeah, no, that decides it right there. Like, that's all I needed to hear.
And you don't have to deal with Kenji. Fuck Kenji. But yeah, that's nice. It looks like the most rushed port job I can see, because they're not even updating the text box size.
Yeah, but at least it's there. It's playable.
Yeah, if you can play the video game and video game good, then video game good. Hideo Kojima exists!
Wow! What a worthless joke. I love how they said at the beginning that, like, oh yeah, everything here is going to be coming out in the next 12 months. Which, first of all, hey, Silksong, hell yeah. But also, like, that's not coming out in 12 months. That's not coming out in several years.
I am sure that Hideo Kojima will come out whenever he wants.
It's an announcement of an announcement.
I want to see him and The Rock in a room talking about nothing back and forth.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. And then this last note is, I clicked off the video as soon as I heard Todd Howard's voice, and he talked about No Man's Sky 0.5.
Yeah, that's what it is. I will give it the benefit of a doubt. Not a benefit, I'm not going to play it, but like, I know Bethesda games have this very specific vibe that people enjoy about them that I just can't get into. It's about, like, the world, it's about the story of the world, but, like, the basic combat is so bland that I'm just bored when I try to play them.
When I was got my PS3, I got Oblivion because it was highly recommended, and I hated it.
I can see why people can get lost in the world, but it's just not for me. Everything you can do in those games, you can do better in other genres.
My feeling when I was like 15 was, wow, they made RuneScape less interesting.
I will say it that look, it's neat that you can, like, make your own ship. That is a neat mechanic to put in a game like that.
Yes.
It's like build blocks, like the old Spore game levels. It's just like, oh yeah, you can make this and you can walk inside it. Like, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy seeing the ships that people make. One other thing from this Xbox Game Pass, because it kind of just blew my mind that they're doing that.
Okay.
They're putting, like, in terms of Riot games, all of the League of Legends champions are free on Game Pass. That's insane.
Yeah, no, that's nuts.
I can't believe they did that.
That's a dead business model. Like, wow. That was like a 10-year lifeblood for a company. And it's just like, no, you can have it.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're making our own games now. We don't need to do this anymore. Sure. Wow. Okay. Something else just forgot about from the Summer Games Fest, and really this one as well. I love how much sci-fi horror there has been. I feel like every E3, I'm just drowning in JRPGs that all looks the same. I finally had a bunch of presentations that were just directed at my taste, and it feels so nice, and I appreciate that. Next year can be all JRPGs, I don't care. I finally had a good year for me.
Bro, what JRPGs are you talking about? I've been sitting here looking at brown shooters going into open world adventure games, and now it's just sci-fi horror. I'm like, where'd the JRPGs at, though?
There were a few. I can't name them, but there were a few. There's that one Persona-looking thing, / dating sim. Jeff Keighley said dating sim, that made me laugh. That's all I remember about it. I don't know. I love that there's so many horror games now, because it's so easy to diversify horror just by making something different scare you. There's one called Remnant that was like, had the aesthetic of like 80s technology. You're like going around with like a CT scanner as like these really shambly robots chase your... I'm so happy with just like this It's funny because that these horror games are coming out now, it just feels like everybody at the start of the pandemic, all those developers out there, like, oh, we're miserable right now. Let's make a horror game.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't know. It's been nice.
Yeah. Okay, that was Xbox.
Can we shout out Devolver's conference real quick for just being absolutely hilarious?
Yes, but that happens every year.
Mecha Suda 51 though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, they had great games. Cult of the Lamb and Plucky Squire both looked fantastic.
Well, yeah, Cult of the Lamb looked great when I first saw it, and it still looks good.
Yeah, great roguelike. It's not going to match Hades because nothing's going to match Hades, but I am. I'm so excited for that game.
Okay.
And then they had this Plucky Squire game, which is like this little storybook thing. There's a little guy walking around a page-turning book, and all of a sudden he jumps out of the book, and you're just in this kid's room going on a little adventure as this little Plucky Squire. It was one of the most adorable things I've ever seen.
Cute. Okay, let's see. Let's run through this. Okay. Tactics Ogre Reborn leaked on PSN. Tactics Ogre is good. I'm happy.
Never played, but I'm interested.
Yeah, it's what came out before Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 2 Ogre games on the 60.
The Ogre Battle,
era.
you're also thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, I get those mixed up.
Yeah, easy to do. As you alluded to before, Activision attests that there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, internal report says, I don't know what abuse they're talking about. We reviewed ourselves and, we pardoned ourselves.
Wrongdoing. It's the Overwatch developers' fault that everything's going bad. They're just not working hard enough. That's why the company's going under.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Anyway, here's another shitty World of Warcraft expansion.
Speaking of shitty, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R announces that it will be bad.
This is the not having rollback thing, right?
You are correct.
Oh, well.
They did a network test, and it lags and says connecting to network every time you try to do an input. It is unplayable online. But they're adding Foo Fighters, and I love Foo Fighters.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch them stutter across the screen.
Well, it's not the actual band Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is actually a cute little plankton girl who's a convict in Green Dolphin State Prison.
Oh, I assumed it was something like that, but...
Okay, alright.
She's not gonna make the game perform any better.
She has to drink water constantly because she's a plankton. She's possessing the body of a dead convict. It's okay. She's a girlfriend.
You do you, anime. You do you.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary. We got plenty out of that. We got the confirmation that the remake saga will be a trilogy. For retelling FF7 will be 3 games.
Is it retelling anymore, or is it just, it feels like a sequel at this point?
It is, but it's still going through the beats. Like, we got bits of the Nibelheim flashback in this case.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're still going to Colm, and they're still going, wow, and that's how it happened, Cloud? Wow. So that'll be out late 2023.
I wonder if he's going to get immediately corrected this time, because apparently Aerith just knows everything. I don't know. I am so fascinated to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm going to play it, but it's fascinating.
But in addition to that, we got Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, and it is dripping with the Gact.
I don't know what that is.
Gact is a person. He's a Japanese artist, and they modeled a character almost completely after him.
I remember that story.
And that's a big reason why we never thought we'd see it again. But nah, he's back. Oh, I'm happy to get more Zack. Zack's such a great character.
Yeah, Zack's great.
What do you wish for? World domination. That's not even funny, dude. Love him. KOTOR 2 Switch developer admits that the game is not completable. No ETA on a fix.
Well,
you can just buy an unfinished game if you want.
Why does that still happen these days?
So the thing is that KOTOR 2, this was originally a bug in the original version of KOTOR 2, because again, that was a full RPG developed in 14 months.
Yeah.
And the thing was, it would have trouble loading a cutscene of you getting on a ship, and then all of your characters would just sort of live in limbo. The thing was, you could go into the console of the game and load the warp point immediately after it, and you could skip that. You can't do that on a Switch. It's the Switch.
Ah. Well.
With that said, this 18-year-old issue was also not fixed.
So what did they do to port it over?
You know, that's a great question. Anyway, restored content DLC still coming for it.
Oh, yay! We won't be able to play that too.
Yeah. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 plus 4 HD canceled because Activision ate Vicarious Visions too fast. Source Tony Hawk.
It's just something got killed at Activision Blizzard. Color me surprised.
It's amazing because they were making it, but then Activision Blizzard was like Call of Duty, and then they realized, oh shit, we don't have anyone to finish this. So they reached out to other developers on what they would do with the Tony Hawk brand, and nothing pleased them, so they just did more Call of Duty.
Huh. It's fascinating seeing a sinking ship, knowing that there's a new captain coming along that might like start plugging those holes, but the current captain's just trying to poke as many as possible.
There's a joy hearing this out of Tony Hawk's mouth, just completely
That
dispassionate.
is funny. That is funny.
Because what are they going to do? You can't fire Tony Hawk. Okay, and then we're at the Nintendo news finally that will end off the month.
I have three Nintendo non-Nintendo things.
Okay, hit me with
5.
those.
Sorry.
Okay.
One's really simple. I just like that Dragon's Dogma 2 exists. That's neat.
Yes, that's fair.
People have been asking for that forever. Good on you.
Yes.
The developers of FTL and Into the Breach are doing it. They did an FTL expansion to that game. They're doing that for Into the Breach. I'm so happy by that.
Good.
That's awesome. Cool. In the Capcom showcase, the Exoprimal game, I wasn't feeling it at first, but apparently the narrator AI that's sending you on missions, I think that's Virgil's voice actor. And just the idea of fighting a mountain of dinosaurs as Virgil AI mocks you constantly, that is a legitimate selling point, and I'm actually kind of interested in the game now.
You know, fair. If the Devil May Cry cast just insulted me for my entire life, I'd be so happy.
And then this is just personal for me, but there is a Lord of the Rings survival game set in the Fourth Age as you try to take back Moria. You could not... Just... Yes, please. I love Lord of the Rings. That sounds amazing. I want to do that.
I don't know what those words mean.
It's... I'm just happy. That's all
I'm happy you're happy, my friend.
And that was all the bonus stuff. Let's get into the Nintendo.
Tell me about Xenoblade 3. I didn't watch it because I'll play the series eventually, maybe?
It actually looks really good.
Good.
So, I'm not going to make a judgment on the voice acting yet, because it's like spliced between trailers, but it does seem way better. Seems like it's actually being directed, which is a huge selling point. I was already impressed by the gameplay mechanic to make every main character their own class and allow each party member to swap classes. It's a bravely default kind of thing. Like every character can be any class. But then they introduced like a dozen side characters you could also bring along, each with their own classes that all work the same way. It like has the same depth of bravely defaults, which is actually kind of insane.
That's really enticing.
Yeah, like I that level of customization in a way that isn't locked behind like weird gotcha waifu blades. Just like, okay, yeah, you're really selling me on this.
Yeah.
On that note, the character designs aren't making my eyes bleed, which, hell yes, thank you. The setting has me intrigued. Having the main characters essentially be clones with a very, very short lifespan, and how they're trying to... There's something there. You can do a lot with that sort of narrative.
I love FF9.
Yeah, exactly. And then I saw several areas from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 in there. Like, I know that it hasn't been confirmed, but it seems like this is kind of a fusion of the worlds of 1 and 2. Like, the leaders of the factions are definitely Melia and Nia from 1 and 2, respectively.
Okay.
So, like, got a few nostalgic gut punches there. I am excited for this game. I want to play it. I'm probably not going to play it immediately, because I want to finish the 2 stuff first, and I'm not quite that excited yet. I don't want to be burned.
Right.
But, like, I don't have any complaints, and that makes me happy.
That sounds lovely. What a wonderful world you live in to not have complaints.
Which means if it does burn me again, you're never going to hear the end of it from me.
Oh, I'm sure. Anyway, Nintendo had a partner direct after that, and it was actually really good.
I don't remember anything from it. There was a Sunbreak trailer at the first that I really liked, and then I think this just wasn't tailored towards me, but I don't remember anything that was shown.
Okay, so let's start. Persona 3, 4, and 5, and Nier Automata to Switch.
That is the last platform I would want to play those games on.
I could play Persona 3 Portable or Persona 4 Golden on the Switch.
You sure? I'm not playing 4 in public. No siree.
With headphones?
Yeah, I would not. Those hot spring things, no thank you. No.
It's okay. That's what you play the female route for. That way you get to discover the boys peeping on you.
Oh, no, it's in 3 too.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why I'm going into a Joe Apocalypse voice for this, but...
I'm happy for people that only have a Switch that they can now play those games, but like this feels several years late to the party, and Microsoft completely killed the weight of the announcement, because this was obvious.
Oh yeah, but hey, Nier Automata.
I mean,
I'm glad that game can run on the Switch and not Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, will it? I'm not so sure.
Anyway, there was that game Blanq, which had the cute little wolf pupper and
that was adorable.
Deer?
Yeah.
Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. It makes me long for a partner to play the game with. The Live Alive demo is out right now, so what are you doing? Play it. Play it,
for
coward.
The full game. I don't play demos.
The demo carries over your progress to the full game.
I still like playing demos. It's like
But you can play this one.
It's like getting an appetizer for a meal, and then you just have to wait for the rest of it. I'll come
No,
back to
do
the
it,
restaurant
coward.
in 3 weeks. Nope. I'm waiting for the game.
No, I loved the Kirby demo.
And I loved my experience more for not having played it. It was just
Okay, but you, the audience, don't be a coward like this coward. Do it. I believe you can do the Far Future, the Feudal Japan, and the Inheritance Ancient China chapters. I believe those are the ones that are available in the demo.
I do like that they are confident enough in the game to release a demo to like get people invested.
Yes. I hope this does well.
Sign.
I've been hearing way more buzz for it than I do other projects of its scope, and I'm really happy for it.
Nice.
Mega Man Battle Network Collection? That's just a ton of games right there, and all of them pretty lengthy RPGs.
Has there never been a collection like that before?
For Battle Network, no.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah. So that is big. If you get in and only want to play Run, play 3. 3 is good.
Probably won't, but I'll keep that in mind.
Cool. Open thing to anyone listening who's like, oh no, what Battle Network should I start with? Not one! Eric from Dragon Quest is getting a game that looks like a spin-off of Dragon Quest Monsters. And I love Eric. He's a good boy.
I have absolutely no memory of that.
Yeah, Dragon Quest Treasures.
Oh, okay. Now I
We
remember
went
the
treasure
title.
hunting.
I watched the Nintendo Direct, that thing afterwards, so I was just hitting the right arrow key. Skip through things that look interesting to me.
Fair. Bomberman 2 replaces Bomberman 1. Looks like more Bomberman to Bomberman.
That's why they killed it.
Yep.
I did like the look of the 1 versus 15 thing. That's a neat idea. I don't know how much longevity it's gonna have, but like that's cool.
It's a fun Bomberman's a fun series to just experiment with different gameplay styles for. The pack is back. The pack is
Pac-Man,
back.
Yeah.
Yes. No, X-Pac is back. Yes. No, Pac-Man World is getting a remake. And that's cool. That's a great PlayStation platformer.
Cool.
Glad to see the continued erasure of Miss Pac-Man.
Was she not in that?
No, she was in that, but they can't use her anymore, so now they have Pac-Mom.
Huh. The legal stuff behind that is so weird.
Right?
Because like they said I can't use her, but then she's also like in the stage on Pac-Land in Smash Ultimate, which is fairly recent.
Yeah.
I don't...
Yeah, I don't know either.
Legal issues are weird.
Yep. Return of Monkey Island comes out this year, actually.
Oh, nice. I didn't see the release date.
Yeah. That trailer went on for way too long.
It did wait. I started skipping halfway through. I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. This is...
Yeah, long enough for people to really start getting sick of the art style.
This is still going.
I think it looks fine, but like...
Yeah, it looks fine. It's just like, that's the kind of stuff that you want to see in-game.
Yeah.
You can sell that game fairly quickly.
Yeah, guys, that's... And then Bowser playable in Mario Plus Rabbids.
Oh, yeah! Oh, I should have remembered that. That was the...
And he gets a gun.
That was my only takeaway from that presentation, but just seeing that with just the giant bazooka on his shoulder. Playable Bowser makes any Mario game better. It is a known fact.
Yes. Oh. Honestly, all of Mario plus Rabbids is looking great. I love the fact that they're using the Rabbids as full-on character-based NPCs. It harkens back to old Mario RPGs in that sense, and it feels really, really good to see that again. They gave them more distinct voices, so they're not just all the Rabbid da ba da anymore. And that's tonality. They're playing with the character designs. Like, if you're not going to do that with the regular Mario species, I'm glad you're doing that with the Rabbidified Mario species.
It's something.
It is something. Yeah. And there's one with really long hair and really feminine eyes, and people were like, oh god, no, please no. And Grant Kirkhope retweeted it and went, yes, everyone in the studio loves them too. And oh god, Grant, no. I can't tell if Grant Kirkhope is just a grandpa, or if he's leaning into the grandpa energy.
Maybe both. I want to love that series so much. It's just from a gameplay side of things, I'd just rather play XCOM.
It looks like they're differentiating it from XCOM now. You get free roaming in your zone of movement.
I've seen that.
Then committing to the shot, yeah.
I like how they're changing the weapons as well. It's just that I don't see this hitting that same depth. It's Mario, it's gotta have that accessibility, and it's gonna be hard to compete with that.
Well, I know, but I like the feeling of, like, when he jumps off of the enemies and combos it into the helicopter, like, I'm feeling like there's going to be a stronger evolution of movement, and I felt that with the Donkey Kong DLC for it, too. So I feel like if they really capitalize on that, then it'll hit the niche that the original game did not, and differentiate it from XCOM.
Hopefully. I don't want to sound like a naysayer here. I would love to love this game. It's just that I got bored halfway through the first one. Definitely watching the cutscenes regardless, because that's going to be a goldmine of character moments.
Like, honestly, same here, but then I play the Donkey Kong bit, and I'm like, oh, I love Donkey Kong, and this is really good. This is so much better than the main game. You guys, is it just because I love Donkey Kong? Maybe, I don't know. That's the news!
Whew!
Okay. Games coming out this month. The Klonoa 1+2 remakes. Yes.
Probably not going to touch, but I'm glad that they're coming out.
I'm very excited to touch them. Stray, as mentioned before. Cat game, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Xenoblade 3.
Probably won't hit that till September, whenever I finish the Chuggacon Let's Play, but I'll play it.
Yeah. Feels weird it's, like, right here. And then Live Alive. Play Live Alive.
Definitely will.
Do it.
I have been sold. Well, I mean, it didn't come out this month, but it just came out, so it's basically my month. Like, Sunbreak and Cuphead, it's got heavy competition, but I can probably get through both of those.
Yeah.
I still have time for Live Alive.
Yeah.
They'll just be the only games that I play.
You, people in the comments, come back after Live Alive comes out and tell me how you like Live Alive. This is a challenge, coward. Do it. And if none of you do it, then that means I win. Because you're too intimidated by me. Okay. Let's finish the segment. What videos are you making this month?
Right now, probably before this comes out, I'm going to have the first Peasant's Perspective livestream go up.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, should be fun. Tangentially related to Design Dorks. I don't have it uploaded yet, but it will be before this is up. I've got the rest of the main series episodes going onto Spotify and all those podcasting platforms.
Ooh, awesome.
Probably do that tomorrow. I've got all of the audio files set up. I just gotta upload them all, and that takes forever.
Yep.
Next big video is definitely going to be Ridley. I have got enough of the script done. I've got the artwork. I'm feeling good about it. Just trying to... I like how I had the whole disclaimer before the Dark Matter video. Just being all like, yeah, you can skip this because I go on a tangent for a while, and the Ridley one's even longer.
Good.
If you're gonna have a character design moveset thing, you should talk a lot about the character, because that's a big part of it.
Personally, I love personal antisodes. Yeah. I love that bit.
No, this isn't a dig towards creators like Delzathan and just do the buy the books moveset, but I feel like there's so much more to character design than just this move does this. You gotta get the feel of the character. You gotta get what they represent, what the roles they've had in their series. There's so much to cover that I want to cover.
I get that feeling. especially, like, I get plenty of comments that are like, vid starts at 5 minutes in. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get you're here for that, but like...
Like, I'm not making my content for you, frankly.
Yeah. It's like, I'm glad that you enjoy that little bit, but like, I need the storytelling bit. I need to feel that. Otherwise, I feel that I've made an incomplete product.
I don't know if that's going to come out this month, but it's going to be what I'm working for most of it. What will come out this month is I finally landed on a script for that internet communication video that I'm happy with.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've rewritten that thing like 9 times. It's so hard to portray that in a way that isn't incredibly patronizing while simultaneously making it watchable to a point that people would actually watch it.
Right.
There's a certain length you can do with those sorts of things that it's just a lost cause. But I'm happy with it. Should come out within a week or 2, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Trying to put dates on things is dangerous.
Yep. Agreed.
What you working on?
Diddy Kong. And
nice.
It's Diddy Kong. This, like, quite frankly, it's going to take the month. It may be out by the end of the month, I don't know, but it's just a lot of work, a lot of focus, and I have a lot of work outside of that, so that is my entire focus right now. I have other scripts, I have other things that I'm working on in the background, like, I'm never idle and just working on one thing at once. But in terms of what you will see from me from production, it's gonna be Diddy, and probably not anything else this month.
Nothing wrong with that. From how you described the video, it's gonna be a good one and I'm excited to see it.
God, I hope so. I'm putting all the effort that I can into this thing.
Alright, is that the end of what will probably be the longest future side of the month?
Yes! Let's hit the bonus stage!
Yeah!
Welcome to bonus stage.
So, actually, 1 second. Perfect. So I saw a lot of amazing things this month. I saw gay Yu-Gi-Oh! Mafia Golf. I saw dildo Kung Fu in the multiverse. Incredible things that I'm going to remember for months on end. But none of those matter because I saw RRR.
RRR.
The fact that you have no reaction to that is absolutely perfect. This is the final form of action movies.
Oh, no, I do know what this is. I just didn't know the name.
It is the most sincere thing. Have you seen any of it?
I've seen, like, the finale, which I need to go back and watch the rest of it. But I just came downstairs. My dad was watching it.
Uh-huh.
And I was enthralled.
Okay. Damn, I wish you didn't know about it, because I have a scene from it loaded up right here, if you want to watch.
Please link it to me. I want to see it again.
By all means.
I haven't seen the early parts of the movie.
You seen it? So okay.
I'm
For those of you at home, it doesn't matter what you're thinking right now. You're going to 3530. You can sync up and listen to our immediate responses. So, the context of this scene is that there are 2 guys, the fire guy and the water guy. And the water guy's on the run because he has to rescue a little girl from his village and he'll stop at nothing to get her. And the fire guy is part of the government who's going to track him down. But they don't know who each other is yet. But they come together in this one beautiful scene. Let's watch.
Play.
Is sound transmitting?
It is not, but it's in Hindi, so it doesn't.
There is a sincerity to this filmmaking. Look at his eye.
I love all of the slow-mo.
Yes.
In these movies. There's just an ungodly amount, but like in the best way possible. Like, it is very much a design decision. Just be like, yeah, look what this person's doing.
Our 2 characters, they're at their lowest point, considering the world behind them. He's vibrating with anger, but it's actually the train underneath him. Oh no, what's this icky paint like goo?
No.
It's moving!
The most sincere special effects in the world. The train is caught on fire. Everyone feels the pain.
so much.
Filmmaking has peaked.
Dramatic stare. He can swim, but he's in danger.
Oh, he's on the turtle shell. But from across the way, their eyes meet. You can't hear it, but the theme of the film has started. This is the first time these characters have seen each other.
Like, there's no backstory at all. This is just instant understanding.
Yes. No, they actually are destined to go after each other.
Because you definitely need a horse, rope, motorcycle.
Horse, rope, motorcycle. Yeah, of course. That's the symbol combination.
More of the trains exploding.
Yeah, the green screen is getting closer to him. You could see the fire.
Ended up here. I have no idea what's about to happen, and I'm so excited. Yeah, tying the rope around him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's pointing directions like an aircraft craft controller. Going, oh no!
Oh no, the train is on more fire!
Just that moment when it clicks.
Yes.
And you realize exactly what's about to happen.
But it's okay.
Got a flag as well.
The Indian flag of freedom is waving.
I love Bollywood so much. They just ask themselves, what possible way can we make that? Oh my god!
The most real explosion!
And they tried the flag!
It's okay. He's got the symbol!
And since this way, it protects him through the fire.
Oh no. Is he
Did you not
okay?
make it?
Yes! Freedom is too strong!
Bond of Brothers. That's 30 minutes in. Is that the title card?
Yeah, that's the title card.
Jesus!
And that is the feeling of RRR, my friends. Thank you for joining onto your own Netflix account and watching along. It is the most sincere filmmaking I have ever seen. It has the most incredible dynamic action sequences. It looks at subtlety and says that it is for cowards, and that symbolism should be loud and proud and nothing else. It is dripping with symbolism, dripping with sincerity in its love of filmmaking, has probably the strongest elements of positive masculinity I have ever seen. I feel manlier just from that one sequence. I feel the hair on my chest growing. And it has the most incredible action sequences that link into very homoerotic bromance I have ever seen. The musical numbers are also excellent.
Oh man, the finale of that movie, as it has the finale of the story, but it just intercuts between a massive musical number with like no transition between the two. It just happens.
Oh, there's another musical number, and it's diegetic. It happens in the context of the story. Not symbolic, it's that, oh no, the white dancing man is being mean to us. Let us show him how we dance. This movie is 3 hours long. It wastes not a single minute. It has the most evil British man I have ever seen in my life. It has the bravest people I have ever seen in my life. And it has a tiger. They do Yakuza heat moves on command, and it's incredible.
I need to get back to watching that.
It's the peak of filmmaking.
I was so starstruck.
Keep in mind, that was after their character establishment, so this is the two forces coming together. And I cut just before the 2-minute song sequence of them bonding together. And just like, you know that sequence in Rocky 3 where Apollo and Rocky are just splashing each other on the beach?
Yeah.
It's that, but extended. And like for like half of the movie. But you know they're not gay because they're getting each other girlfriends.
Yeah, I don't have anything much to add to this, because I've both seen enough of it to know that I love it, but not enough of it to, like, give more thoughts on, like, how the actual story comes out. I just know it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Right up there with that memed other Bollywood film where they, like, I think it's during the Crusades or something, there's a bunch of people that, like, go onto a palm tree, like, grasp each other on the arm, and the palm tree, like, they pull it down so it's like a catapult. The palm tree fires them upwards. They, like, take their shields and roll into a ball and just use themselves as projectiles into a city. And it's as ridiculous as it sounds. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Oh, you're gonna love the sequence where he fights out of a pile of men. And probably also the sequence where, like, you know that scene from Avatar: The Last Airbender where Uncle Iroh is pretending to be, his mind shattered in a Fire Nation prison, but then he's really buff?
Uh-huh.
Imagine that, but he just is doing sit-ups in front of the guards and not breaking eye contact. And they go, we've starved you for a week, and he just continues doing sit-ups.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, RRR. It's perfect. It might be the best thing I see all year.
I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. Okay, what you got?
Okay, so I kind of wanted to bring a few things, but didn't for various reasons. I was tempted to bring The Boys to this. I absolutely love that show. It's the hyper-realistic take on what superheroes would actually look like in modern day.
I've heard good things, yeah.
It is amazing, but it's not quite done. We've got one more week, so probably gonna bring it next month.
Gotcha.
I also considered talking more about Star Wars. I watched the Obi-Wan series, and I also watched the prequels in preparation for that, and holy shit, the Clone Wars rewrote those series, like the series rewrote those movies in my head. Without that series carrying it, it is so bad. Like, I get why people, you got like this split in the Star Wars fandom praising the prequels but mocking the sequels, because they're better for very different reasons, but the prequels are still very, very bad.
Oh, I like the Planet Geonosis. It's cool. It's got a factory.
No, the world building in those movies is amazing. The acting is atrocious. And it's got like the inverse for the sequel. Acting's great. World building's non-existent. Just, let's do the original trilogy, but again. But no, I want to talk about something that is very special to me today. That has not just remained special, but grown into an even deeper appreciation over the years. Because I also rewatched some other movies. A lot of movies. I don't know why. I don't watch many movies usually. But got like a biannual tradition of just getting together with my family, rewatching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. God damn, I love those movies so much. There's a handful of things that never get discussed because it is so widely accepted that they're amazing, which ironically means that they don't get praised enough for their quality. So god damn it, I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay, tell me about it. I haven't seen them.
Okay, that
I saw
Dragon
the first
Prince
Hobbit.
deal, that Dragon Prince deal we had beforehand, I will do anything you want to get you to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't care how
That's
complex.
really long.
Play the whole Metal Gear series, I'll do it.
Those are really long. What if I'm like, it's okay?
The quality's... Okay, so I'm going to talk about the movies mainly, but I just want to talk about the books a little bit as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I don't think there's ever going to be a creator as good at world building as J.R.R. Tolkien. Like, creating several functional languages on its own gives him the title alone, but to back that up, he made, like, the most believable fantasy world I've ever come across. It's so believable that I know the geography and history of Middle-earth better than I do my own country. Name any place in Middle-earth, I can tell you where it is, but I could not for the life of me tell you what states Wisconsin is next to. Can you?
Yeah, it's Michigan. It's near Minnesota.
I know it's in that general area, but I can't tell you, like, which is which. It just kind of blends
believe
together.
It borders Indiana. Yeah.
Like, so much effort was devoted to how that world works. I can understand the politics of various factions of men, the bitter feud between elves and dwarves, the deep creation myth that forged that world. I love that creation myth. Making the world through song is just a wonderful, beautiful idea. And then being a little irreverent by describing this, but the fact that the devil was basically just trying to make his own solo in the song that created the world, and that was how the devil started, that's just hilarious. I love that so much. He wanted to sing his own song.
I love it when songs mix in Devil Went Down to Georgia lore into it. Musical Devil is my favorite devil.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
A big motivation for Tolkien in making all that stuff for Middle-earth is that he wanted to create an English sort of mythology, because we don't really have one. Like, there's bits and pieces from various cultures, but not for like modern day England.
Yeah.
And I think he succeeded pretty well. The fact that he basically invented the modern day interpretations of so many fantasy races, giving them culture and history to match the depth of actual historical civilizations, is such a monumental achievement. I think people just gloss over these days. Like, elves are what they are now because of Lord of the Rings. Dwarves, orcs, they essentially created high fantasy as it is today.
Yes, definitely.
Alright, getting into the movies now, it blows my mind how well these films were able to bring that world to life. Like, building upon, like, Tolkien's writing and illustrations to set every fantasy benchmark that still falls to this day. Sure, Tolkien, like, decided, like, yeah, this is how Elvish culture looks like. This is what Dwarvish culture looks like. The movies are able to take that and be like, okay, yeah, this is what an Elvish weapon will look like forever. If you have Dwarven architecture that doesn't match Moria, it's going to pale in comparison. This is Orc armor. This is what... You have tree people, this is what they look like. The costume and set designs in these films are second to none. And there's a huge gap between it and second place. I looked up some numbers out of curiosity. Do you want to know the sheer amount of stuff that was made for these films?
Oh, please tell me.
So, 19,000 separate costumes were made for these films. Between armor, between, like, everyday outfits, prosthetics. I think there's even more prosthetics. I saw a number like... Oh yeah, I have it later in this. 48,000 prosthetics and props.
Okay.
20,000 background actors, and I'm not sure if this is included in the number, but it's specified that the orc grunts were cast from 10,000 New Zealand cricket fans. I don't know why that specificity is there, but I love it so much.
No, imagining just all of the orcs going, oh, lovely day for cricket, isn't it?
No, it's what they do in their downtime. Like, you had to do something in Mordor while Sauron's building his armies. That 1,600 pairs of prosthetic hobbit feet were created. Just the feet, like, and even crazier, all of it is good.
I don't want to know the hobbit foot artist. I don't really want to.
That probably scarred them for life, or they enjoyed every minute of it. I'm not judging them.
No, I will.
Yep. Just the amount of work that went into those movies is just unheard of. The weapons and armor of Rohan are entirely distinct from those of Gondor, both visually showcasing so much of their respective cultures. Like, how, like, you see the Easterlings in this film for, like, a minute total. The Easterlings are kind of, Middle-earth is roughly, like, again, Tolkien made Middle-earth to be like mythology. Middle-earth is, in the world setting, an ancient version of our own world.
Right.
So the Easterlings are very much the kind of Turkish, Mongolish, kind of that side. And you only see them in the movie for, like, a minute, but they, like, took the time to make dozens and dozens of these awesome costumes, showing them, like insanely cool Persian, Turkish-styled armor, just to show how distinct they were. And, like, you just don't get that much work put into films these days.
No, you're right. It would all be, like, glossed over with CG at that point.
Lord of the Rings came out at the perfect time for when CGI was started to get going, but they still wanted to imbue it into the movies. Like, you know Gollum. Right?
Yes.
Like, the insanity of Andy Serkis's performance in Gollum and how they brought Gollum to life, he still looks good today. So much of that movie still looks good today. These movies started production in 1996, and yet the CGI looks better than some of the movies that come out today.
No, you're right. We just watched part of one.
Yeah, like, if you compare that to the Balrog's Fire, like, no disrespect to Bollywood CGI.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
Bollywood
no.
CGI
that's
is
so
special
beautiful
in its own special way. But, like, the Balrog looks real. That movie came out in 2001. And a big part of that is because of the sets and the miniatures. So much of this film still holds up today because they outright built so much of it themselves. Go over a huge flyover of Isengard, like they built that entire miniature. They have the camera swooping through little caverns because they made the whole thing with miniatures and just inserted like birds flying through them and orcs working through them just later. They literally built Helm's Deep. Like the huge fortress at the end of the second movie. Like, it's only a quarter of the size of the Helm's Deep, but that's still insanely impressive.
Yeah.
Sometimes they build sets twice to sell the scale difference between hobbits and larger races. Like, if you have Gandalf and Bag End, like, they built two sets so they could have one, like, Gandalf really awkwardly trying to make his way through this very cramped but they made a much bigger one so that Frodo and Sam and Bilbo could, like, move around easily. That's brilliant.
That's way too much work than needed to be done, but damn. No, that creates such a good effect.
Yeah, the heavy work works so well, and it pays off. Like, you believe that there's these tiny people, like, right next to people, right next to taller races, even though the actors are all about the same size. What else can I talk about? There's so much I can.
It's weird praising just, like, a universally beloved piece of work, isn't it?
It is weird, but, like, if you don't praise it every now and then, you just don't talk about it, which is such a shame here.
No, I know, but it's, like, it's so weird, like, me saying, yeah, I like Mario 3. It's good. I feel like I have to say something negative about it to preface it.
I want to call this movie a pioneer for visual effects in the industry, because it is.
Yes.
But despite how far technology has come, it's aged so much better because it didn't just, like... again, it was in that sweet spot where it was, like, trying to use... It used CGI to enhance what was real instead of using CGI to just make something real.
Right, it was a complement to everything as opposed to the driving force.
Like you see Gollum struggling through water. That's because Andy Serkis actually went to a freezing river and just took 6 takes just scrambling through it. Which I have no idea how they did that. Like, I studied a bit of animation before I realized I didn't want to get into the games industry as, like, actually making them because it's not very fun.
Right.
But I understood the work that went into that. I don't understand how it was possible, because you have, like, a CGI character moving through water that is reacting to his splashes. You're painting somebody else out and putting a CGI character in, and the water still looks good. Like, you see a few splashes that aren't there because they couldn't quite get it perfect, but just the fact that was possible in, like, that would have been, like, 2000 they made that? That's insane!
Yeah.
Oh, what else? The music of those movies. Howard Shore is a god amongst man. Every intense or emotional moment is made all the better from this soundtrack. There's not a bad piece from it, and I still get teary at the end of Return of the King, or just giddy at the start of any fight scene, just because of how well he made those. It's got one of the best casts in movie history, largely due part to the raw talent of the actors. I don't think there's a bad performance to be found here, and it kickstarted a lot of careers, but also, again, that, like, they put the time in to direct them as perfectly as possible. Like, they spent 7 years making all these movies, and it shows. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but
No, please. It's just enjoyable hearing something about this that isn't just, yeah, they're good. You know they're good. Watch them. I'm like, yeah, but they're long, though.
Part of the reason they're wrong is that they really wanted to take time to actually establish the world in the movies. Like, they come in with the thought process like, yeah, you might not know this from the book. So, like, they spend like I don't know if it's like an hour in the Shire, but they really set that up to make you feel the loss of what the hobbits are leaving behind going on this treacherous journey.
Right.
You have moments of, like, when they're reminiscing about it later again, you know that this matters to them because you saw how much that meant to them and how horrible their situation is now. They just really take the time to make you feel for the characters. Also, just a lot of establishing shots just to show off the world. Like, they made all these miniatures and you'll just have, like, a solid 30 seconds of being like, look at these amazingly huge statues next to this, like, river here. Look at how crazy that the people that made these things were. It respects the hell out of the world it's in and really wants you to feel like the world is alive and real. Also, something that doesn't get brought up very much, the humor is on point. So many movies try to inject modern humor into whatever setting they are portraying, and it just falls flat because of it. But the comic relief is done in the context of Middle-earth. Like, you get Pippin complaining about, like, hey, we haven't eaten second breakfast. We don't get second breakfast, but what about 11ties? Tea time? Luncheon? And it's funny.
Yeah. No, that's adorable, and just is honestly a sign of a good world builder. I feel like so many movies focus so much on their dialogue and their ability to have quick wit as opposed to using the world that they're in for the sake of comedy.
Oh, there's so much to praise about these movies. Like, I'm trying to think. You talked about positive masculinity with RRR. Lord of the Rings has that in spades. Like, there's the wonderful video that I'd recommend to everybody from a channel called Cinema Therapy called Toxic Masculinity versus Aragorn, because Aragorn is literally the antithesis to toxic masculinity.
Ooh, okay.
Like, on one hand, the dude is facing armies on his own. On the other, he's singing at his own coronation. It's a mainly male-dominated cast, but they're all tender with each other. They all emotionally support each other through hardships, but they're still able to be stoic in the face of danger, and it's just... God, it's so good.
That's so nice. I hear so little about Aragorn, aside from the fact that he is the main character, quote-unquote.
If you look up the word masculinity in the dictionary, you will see a picture of Viggo Mortensen.
Okay.
Aragorn is an amazing character.
Okay, and is he dressed as Popeye?
No.
Well, then how do I know it's real?
Because he has...
The only real things are men dressed as Popeye.
But just like, the banter between Merry and Pippin, the friendship between Frodo and Sam. Frodo just in general, his story might be one of my just favorite hero's journeys just in general. I love the villain that is Sauron. That is omnipotent evil done right. I feel like Ganondorf really needs a One Ring. Because what the ring does for the entire narrative, just the insidious corruption that causes to everyone that it's around, it's just such a powerful storytelling tool. I wish people realize that omnipotent evil is fine, but it needs to be felt.
Yes.
Holy shit, is it felt in Lord of the Rings. This is a movie that isn't afraid of making its characters dirty, which I know is a small thing to focus on, but I hate that about so many action films that you've got just these characters in terrible situations, but they're all pristine, like they're right out of the makeup department.
Well, yeah, you have to show them off. They're actors. People are here to see the actors. You can't have John Halo in the helmet.
And they do this brilliantly in the movie because, like, there's elves in this movie. Like, you got Orlando Bloom and all. The elves are always untouched. Like, it's a design choice that makes the elves feel absolutely otherworldly. And it's so clever to, like, just make them just show off, like, hey, these are superhumans.
It feels like every part of this film was considered to the nth degree and just polished to a sheen that should not have been possible for the day and would not be allowed to be possible today.
Yeah, like, it takes too long to make movies these days. Sorry. Movies are made too quickly these days. The inverse of what I just said.
Yeah, strike that. Reverse it. Thank you.
I hope the Amazon series they're making is good, and I hope it comes close to the quality. But like, I don't. There's just already small things I'm seeing from the trailers. Like, there's short-haired elves. I know that's a weird thing to be a sticking point. I'm not trying to disparage that. I'm just trying to talk about why this trilogy of films is just essentially perfect.
No, that's entirely fair. I'm glad to hear about it after just a lifetime of sitting here going, yeah, they sound good.
The time, the effort, like, the behind the scenes for this movie is hilarious. Like, you have them keeping takes of actors getting injured just because they sold the emotion so rawly. I think it was Sean Bean was scared of being in helicopters, so anytime they like to, like, film in a, like, icy setting, he would hike to wherever they were going, which almost got him killed and lost. And it is a tiny bit of product of its time, so I still don't think there's as good of a girl power moment of just you know about Eowyn in these movies, don't you?
Yes, I know about that one moment.
I am no man, and stabbing the general of Sauron's army in the face. Just like, it's got a bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I don't know. I don't have much more to say about that. It's probably my favorite fictional series. Like, I was so excited for that Moria game earlier just because it is Lord of the Rings. That's all I need. I love this world so much.
I understand that.
But yeah, again, literally anything. Metal Gear series, done. Banjo-Kazooie? Well, then that's already completed with Dragon Prince. You know,
what about One Piece?
That is... oh man, I could probably beat the Metal Gear series before I read all of One Piece. But you know, no, I said anything, I meant anything. If I will read One Piece to get you to watch Lord of the Rings.
You know, I feel like that's a fair deal. I feel like I'm getting out of it a lot better, but you said anything.
Alright, Fair.
You just read One Piece. You don't need to watch it. Just read it.
Okay, I will probably read it. I read a lot faster.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, Lord of the Rings. And I know I've got a bit of a younger audience skewing. Some of you may not have seen it. Fix that now.
I'll fix it.
You have half of the games you have right now because of it.
Yep, that is fair.
All right. Shall we move on to the comments?
Let's wrap this sucker up. Oh boy.
Alrighty. Let's see. What should I start off with today? I got a comment from Rick Naturalis that stood out to me because it's a fun topic. What series should have a crossover game that isn't a crossover fighter? A game either combining the game's mechanics or making something completely new like Mario and Rabbids.
Ooh, that is interesting. Let me think.
I can throw out an easy one that's always been on my mind.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I think I've talked about this a little bit before, but the universes of Halo and StarCraft has always kind of been parallel to me in my head.
Yeah,
I would love to have like an RTS where you got 3 versus 3 races, Protoss, Zerg, Terran, Covenants, humans. I know there's a specific name I can't remember off the top of my head, and Flood, and just building off of that. That's one of my dream games right there.
I get you. A random one that popped into my head, but I would laugh so hard. Pac-Man and Monkey Ball. Would you not want to play it?
No, that would be amazing. Just like
right?
Pac-Man gameplay, but with Monkey Ball physics?
Yes.
That's kind of how I'm picturing this. That'd be amazing.
Imagine what you could do. Imagine the puzzle elements that you could incorporate. Imagine the combo elements that you could incorporate. Just all the sort of things. You could even like add just like a Tony Hawk style meter with how Pac-Man combos work.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Oh, that's got my brain worrying.
Oh, nice. I'll take it.
I think there's a few generic ones. Like I've always loved the idea of like a chic Assassin's Creed sort of styled game.
Yeah,
that's talked about all the time.
I agree. I mean, like I would say crossover racers, but they're so easy to do same sort of thing with it.
I was talking with I apologize for mispronouncing your name. I'm pretty sure Daixo about Xbox Hero Shooter, which is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, they can't really do a platform fighter, but they have so many first-person shooters.
Like, you got Chief, you got Joe, you got Banjo.
Yeah, just have the really gritty, realistic shooters then. And then you've just got Banjo over there holding Kazooie as a gun and Conquer doing Matrix flips.
Yeah, that's what it is. Do it. Let's see. Do I have anything else that jumps out in my mind? I don't know. Something that I've always wanted to do is that I feel like the Paper Mario story has always been Mario, but in this specific setting or in the specific storytelling device. For instance, TTYD has chapters based on the classic Castle and Dragon, gladiatorial arenas, classic Aesop's Fables, Treasure Island. It's Mario adapting to Murder on the Orient Express, classic literature, and playing with that. I would love to see just a Paper Mario style of just, here are the various stories of the Nintendo library. Now Mario is in them. Just, I feel like storytelling needs to be played with more. And I liked Paper Mario more when the emphasis was that the joke was Mario through the guise of paper, rather than paper through the guise of Mario. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
Yeah. So just that sort of thing. Then just, put Conquer and Banjo and Mr. Pants in a game and make them do stuff together. That make me happy.
Yeah. Let's see, what else have I got here? People are learning that throwing in a Kirby question is an easy way to fish for my attention. And
that's
Cosmic
fair.
Curbster is no exception. As a fellow fan of Kirby's ensemble cast, personally believes it to be one of the most interesting and varied lineups in a platformer series. Truth, I agree. Would you mind Kirby take a more story-based approach with better use of its expanded cast? 64-esque elaborate cutscenes, potential voice acting, etc.? Like the sort of main cast that was established with the Star Allies' Dream Friends consistently sticking around and playing NPC roles in the hypothetical next hub world we get after Wobble D-Town, whilst being there for the story? What interactions and combinations would you think would be interesting with this better utilized ensemble cast? Would you want further fleshed out? And then they steal my answer with Adeline and just see her relationship with Forgotten Lands' New World.
I would like this, but I would not like it in a Kirby game. I would like it in a Meta Knight game. I think play off of the Revenge of Meta Knight, give camaraderie from the Meta Knights, bring back Captain Vol, toss in characters, like give the backstory and history of Dynablade. I don't think that stories centering around Kirby should necessarily be that deep, because Kirby doesn't care about them. He just wants a simple and happy life with all of his friends, and to do whatever it takes to get that. But focusing in on a character who cares more about the lore, who can have those deeper relationships, who can sort of develop, not to say that Kirby's relationships aren't deep, they are, they're forged with steel and love, but they aren't deep insofar as you don't talk to Kirby with words very often.
They're not complex.
Yes.
It's just a very deep sinkhole.
Yes. And I feel like if you had Meta Knight in that spotlight role, you could branch off a lot more, get more concrete lore on Galacta Knight and Morpho Knight. I would love to see the Nightmare Wizard fleshed out. That's a character with a huge presence, and the most backstory we get with him is the Kirby anime.
I was about to say, are you just saying that because of the anime?
Yeah, and he gets nothing. Like, oh my god, wait, no, enemy salesman. I want him to be supporting cast. Just, hey, Triple D. Bring him back. Him have voice acting, do him.
Well, voice acting's odd, because I almost want it on a character-by-character basis.
No, just him.
Yeah. I mean, if they... Escargoon, though.
Well, yes. But, like, Escargoon, though, is always the answer.
Voice acting's such a weird thing, because I do feel like it might... Because a lot of the great storytelling of Kirby is just in the simple gestures. Like that moment at the end of the Masked DDD oh my gosh. The Masked DDD battle in Forgotten Land.
Yes.
A word isn't said, but you feel every single second of it.
You know everything. Everything's great.
And using, like, having those very brief bits of voice acting, like, just to unsettle the player, I almost feel like is more impactful.
I agree.
I guess my short answer to the version of this is I don't know if I feel about voice acting. I would like to see at least the characters come back a little more. Like, you can have a few other NPCs in that town, no problem, and it wouldn't take anything away from the game.
Yeah.
But
I think the Dreamland 3
idea.
animal buddies are no-brainers for that.
Yeah, exactly. I do love your idea of, like, taking actual, like, heavy story-based stuff with Meta Knight. That's perfect.
Nice.
Here's one. I got a question from Odie's O's. Asking
good name.
A very good name. Curious about what our favorite roster for a fighting game is, perhaps outside of Smash, if that's unfair. It's not Smash Brothers for me, actually. I know this is a weird pull. From what I want in a fighting roster, it's actually Dissidia.
Oh, okay.
Final Fantasy Dissidia. Because it gets what I feel like is the core of why I love those conflicts so much. You got main hero, main villain. And it just showcases why you want to have playable villains, because the playable villains are so diverse in that game.
Yes.
Dissidia was actually my introduction to, like, the vast majority of Final Fantasy, which was a really weird place to get introduced to it.
Oh man, you got such an overstated opinion of Jecht.
Very overstated opinion of Jecht. Cloud's just a loser. I didn't realize until playing actual Final Fantasy VII that there was more to him.
That's not wrong. He is a loser.
I mean, he's a loser, but he's a lovable loser instead of just a grumpy one. I thought Sephiroth's sword was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and I fell in love with the Final Fantasy IX cast, because how could you not?
Yeah.
Like having Kuja tell Zidane before their fight that he's got a song for him and it's his Requiem, and Zidane just fires back that now he's gonna play the finale. Like, it's cheesy, it's corny, I love them so much.
Yes, they're great. Let's see. For me, I do really like the King of Fighters 15 cast, because these are characters with just a ton of history, and it feels like that this should be a dream game, but what KOF 15 does is it gives everyone a story ending, like, usual arcade ladder story, but focusing it on a 3-person team really allows them all to develop and flesh out, and it has, unique combinations for teams, for characters who have teamed up before in the past. I can't remember any of these, but they're there. So it's just good seeing continued character development past individual stories, if that makes sense, to link a world together through its characters and through its vibe, rather than just the individual story of, oh, how's Ken's marriage going right now? Oh, I'm sorry.
I know nothing about his story, but I'm invested in it just from the peak of that design.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I also love Capcom vs. SNK 2's cast. Just all-time greats. Ultimate Marvel 3. That's a really, really great one. I know Marvel 2 is
I'm surprised
big,
you haven't said Darkstalkers 3.
I'm getting there, because that's one where every single character is just dripping with things to say about them. Like, there's not much there story-wise, but every single one, you can see their influence. Like, even though I'm saying the fishman's name, Rikuo, he is named after the actor from Creature from the Black Lagoon who did the motion capture for the underwater scenes. Like, it loves horror. You can feel that, and that is so good. Another one that's great at that is Killer Instinct 2013. Absolutely.
Oh, I have heard good things about Killer Instinct 2013.
Fabulous
Didn't
fabulous
that have the
cast.
Arbiter in it?
Yeah, the Arbiter's in it.
That was sick.
General Ram from Gears of War, Rash from Battletoads.
Oh, right.
Best thing is that he has a backpack accessory, and it's Banjo's backpack, but it starts to flicker, and it's the Lord of Games, the god of Banjo's universe, disguising himself as Banjo's backpack. But then you have the actual world building it does, because Killer Instinct is just a mishmash of ideas Rare thought were cool, like, what if the Predator was a robot? He's in the game. What if we had Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but they're aliens and one is made of fire and one is made of ice? What if Conan the Barbarian was here? That's it. And then Killer Instinct 2013 builds on it. It brings back the planned vampire character that they had and make her a femme fatale, but she, like, drives a car with sunglasses on and is cool. They have Hisako, who plays off of themes of revenge and fallen Japanese soldiers, but also of Ringu from the Ring movies.
Oh, okay.
And they give her gameplay identity very counter-based to fuel off of that vengeful spirit. Her movements are all jerky and janky, and that plays into her teleports being super ambiguous. You have Aganos, the stone golem, who learns how to feel after centuries of just standing there. Kon Ra, who is just Mum Ra from Thundercats. It's great. Just, fighting games to me should be a celebration of the theme that brings all of these characters together. And crossover fighters obviously do a great job of it, but I am so invested in series like Darkstalkers, like Killer Instinct, like King of Fighters, that end up creating this fantastic, wonderful universe. Guilty Gear as well, but I'd have to debate whether I prefer Strive or Xrd's cast for those. Just bringing them all into this theme and this identity and this feeling is just such a celebration of, well, character through just motion.
Absolutely. I'm kind of curious, if I do put Smash back on the table, does it fit in that league for you? Because I don't know if it does for me. I don't think the characters interact enough for me to really... Like, I love what's in the roster, but I don't know if I love the roster as a whole, if that makes any sense. It doesn't do enough with it.
Yeah, but like K. Rool and Banjo are in it.
I mean, if you take like the top 20 of our tier list and make that the fighting game, I think I actually like it more.
No, I agree with you, but like...
I feel like on an individual level, I love the characters of Smash Brothers. I don't know if I feel the same about the overall roster.
I feel like with what Smash Brothers is, I will always want more. Even though I have exactly what I want, I will always want more from it. And I could be satisfied with a roster like Darkstalkers 3 or like Killer Instinct, and if they gave more, if I saw more, I would be thrilled with the idea of what they could do.
Because I obviously love Smash Bros. We both do.
Yeah.
But I look at all these other fighting games and I just wish it could do more things like them.
Yes.
Now, not to disparage the insanity that is the Smash Bros. Crossover. Like, that's a monumental achievement that we're likely never going to see again. I just wish it did more with it.
Yeah, also Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, because there are like 160 playable characters in that or something. Like, I get to play as General Blue? Yo, okay.
Yeah, why not? How many Gokus can we have?
Haha, don't challenge me.
I saw this comment because I want to know because I'm curious. Jared Hebert partially asked about I think we actually answered this question before about films where TV series like to get video game adaptations. This was a two-parter. I'll throw out again that I love the StarCraft universe and I want to see something in it.
Mm-hmm.
But the second part of the question, important part, is that they noticed that there were dog barks in the background when Pyrr was discussing New Adventures of Batman and wants to know more about the good boy.
Oh, she's a good girl. Her name is Layla.
Layla!
Yeah, she's a sweet girl. I've had her for 12 years now, since she was a puppy. When we moved out of our old house, she used to fit in my shoe, and now she takes up my entire chair. And she's just a sweet, sweet girl. Very, very cowardly. Like, she'll see anything in the front door and she'll bark at anything. But, just a sweet girl. She's a mutt. She's a mixture of a Cocker Spaniel, Toy Poodle, and a Boxer.
Oh, interesting.
It is a very interesting combination. But yeah, just an absolute, absolute sweetheart. Has never bitten me in all of 12 years.
That's wonderful.
And the thing was, I was very, very close to my first dog. Like, my first dog actually saved my life from a rattlesnake when I was 3.
Oh, wow.
So and she was very, very, very sweet to me. And after that dog passed away, I was just nervous around animals. Because, like, that was a deep bond and I didn't want to feel that again. And I was just scared around other animals. And I felt that way when we got Layla initially. I thought that I would just let my sister take care of her. But every night, just because I was home often by virtue of just sitting there being on the computer, she would claw at my door and ask to sleep with me. And after like half an hour of her doing this, I would let her in and she would curl up on my chest and fall asleep. And she still does that every night without fail to this day.
That is so... It's wonderful how dogs just have that way of warming their way into your heart.
They're so wonderful and healing.
Yeah, wholesome vibes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a comment from Sandwich Bubbles asking to talk about Epic Mickey. I don't know if you've played Epic Mickey.
I played parts and dropped it.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a worry with comments like this, because I wanted to highlight this so I could put it on the screen, because it is really nicely worded about how much it meant to them, bonding with her sister through it, got them through them stuff. Like, I love hearing stories about games like that, but unfortunately I just hadn't played it.
I have played some of it, and I love some of the concepts introduced in it, like Mickey Junk Mountain, which is just a world filled with discarded Mickey Mouse paraphernalia made into a massive monument of all the waste Mickey has produced, is brilliant. Like, that's just such a great concept, especially for a game that's main hub is based around the Magic Kingdom. Like, brilliantly done there. I just never really connected with it on a gameplay level, and I didn't have anyone to really play it with. As a lot of people were at the time, I was more enthralled with the concept art. It's definitely a game that I can see people latching onto and really get attached to, and I've grown up around Disneyland my whole life. I get it. Like, that was a huge draw for me. But yeah, it's not a game that hit me personally, and I feel like it's a game that you don't really take lessons from, but if the vibe hits you and you feel good and that is the most important thing to you that you can take from this game, then yeah, that's a special game. That's allowed to be a favorite. You're right to love it.
Yeah. I just want to throw out here that we've seen a couple of comments like this. Keep throwing these out. Even if we haven't played the games, I really love hearing about games that meant something to people. It's just nice hearing those stories.
Likewise.
I had a small comment from Shock Stopwave asking about our thoughts on new characters and video game adaptations of TV, movies, etc. Examples they gave was Escargoon, Bluster Kong, and Cole Young from the Mortal Kombat movie, and I feel like that perfectly encapsulates why you can't really answer that question, because it's such a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, but let me throw out the good one. Silco.
Exactly!
Yeah.
Like, if you do it well and respect the subject matter it's coming from, you can create some amazing things. But when you try to, I feel like Cole Young is a perfect example of how not to do it. If you're just trying, like, oh, here is our character going through the movies, like just make a movie about the characters we already love.
Yeah.
You are dooming that character by making it focused on them instead of what the people actually like.
Was Kyle Katarn a video game original character, or was he an extended material before?
I don't know what came first.
Yeah, I just remember him as the guy from Dark Forces, and then the Jai Academy games.
I mean, great either way, but...
Yeah. But yeah, just to give an example of a different character from other media doing this, Harley Quinn, originally introduced in Batman the Animated Series, and...
Seriously?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they wanted a female lackey for the Joker, and they just invented that design, and they ran with it.
Yeah, just casually create an entire character archetype, why don't you?
Yeah, just casually create, the second biggest DC character behind Batman right now?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is actually true. That's crazy.
Yeah, it can be done. It's just a matter of how it's done and what the context is, really.
Exactly. You know what's kind of funny?
What?
I've been watching cutscenes of Fire Emblem Three Hopes.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Byleth's in that category. Just adapting the character and actually giving them a personality. Wow,
oh my God.
I'm actually kind of invested in this person when they actually do things.
Right? Oh, and the purple-haired stand-in, I like them so much more because they have no brain.
I hope they get away from the silent protagonist. It works in some things, it does not work in Fire Emblem. You need, if you're going to have that protagonist character, they need to be able to bounce off of, instead of these weird support conversations where it's thank you for your guidance, but also, you don't say anything. But your general aura.
Yeah, but they went into it. Is there another silent protagonist other than FE7 Tactician?
I was gonna say FE7 Tactician. Is the one in the remake of the Fire of Marth sequel game? I know there's a Tactician. I don't know.
No. Chris has a personality.
Okay, not that one. Not in Fire Emblem. I'd have to look elsewhere.
Yeah, that's just weird.
I guess it's pushback from Corrin being as bad as they were. But, you went too far in the other direction, guys.
Yeah, but, Robin and Corrin were at least allowed to be people, I guess.
Yeah, and, there wasn't really anything special about Robin. But, I liked Robin.
They're a person.
They're fine, yeah. It was fun to make fun of Corrin. Byleth is just... I know, we're talking too much about Fire Emblem during this.
Yeah.
Let's do one more, because this is something that needs to happen more in just every facet of YouTube.
Agreed.
Agent Happy Potato asks, as someone who has been following Chuck Connor since his Fire Red Let's Play, it always makes them happy when other people bring up a conversation, which brings me to a question. What are some other gaming YouTubers you follow that you'd like to spotlight? Gives examples of Girlfriend Reviews and Johnny Awesome, which I don't really know need a spotlight, but there you go.
Right.
When you know it, there's this really cool guy that makes video game remixes called Crash and Smash, makes the soundtracks for our videos. Please subscribe
he's pretty good. He is actually pretty good, not even sarcastically. He demade all of the new remixes for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled and put them into the original CTR sound font, and they sound great.
I'm actually going to throw this, I should have said this when I was making videos, but I'm going to make a very small quick concept and make it a deal with my audience that if we can get him to 2,000 subscribers, I will drop whatever I'm doing and make the Sonic video. I will hold to that bargain.
Okay.
Come on. Guy's got 600 subscribers. For the talent he's got, that's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yep. Pour it on.
Yeah. I'll also throw out a shout out to Max Ham. Another person that makes a lot of really good Smash Brothers concepts. Hasn't made many, but his cursed moveset for Waluigi, that is the title of the video, is one of the best ones I've ever seen. Picture my content with the kind of deep dive into character, but with custom artwork that he drew himself.
Oh, that's great.
It is fantastic. I can't believe he doesn't have more subscribers. It is my content, but better. If you watch my stuff, you should watch his as well.
Oh, that is fair. God, I have a lot that I would love to go through. If I don't get to you, I apologize, because I really do love a lot of content. I watch a lot of it. I enjoy a ton of it. Couple that I will highlight that I've very recently been enjoying is Sugar Punch Design Works. And they do usually a bunch of fighting game analysis and that sort of thing. They just had a great video on LGBT and non-binary fighting game characters. And the way that they are able to analyze things and take the historical context of things, like they go down the history of the drunken fist style in fighting games or sumo in fighting games, and are able to break down how the art of fighting and the love of martial arts that they clearly have is adapted into a fighting game and being able to turn that into a power fantasy. And on top of that, they had a great video on the culprit from Persona 4, and that's a really hard character to talk about, so well done.
Yeah.
I also really like Big Yellow, because he only focuses on two things, fighting game characters and competitive Pokemon, and he does both really well and very amusingly, and they're just comfortable to watch. Yeah. Gosh. I also really love any video done by B-Mask, who is just a fantastic, fantastic analyst. His series on the Sly Cooper series is some of my favorite videos on YouTube, just watching the full character depth and emotion and emotional arcs of funny platforming raccoon game is incredible. His Sam and Max video is exceptional. His Psychonauts 2 video is also fantastic. The way that he portrays Monkey Island 2 as seeing the behind the scenes of a theme park ride is, it's such a good perspective. Fantastic video essayist right there. And then also Silvery, who does analysis on the character development of Kirby characters, who has been very helpful for me personally, having that as a reference point. But also he had, I don't know how to describe it. He played Mario Party 2 with his friends, but then he super edited the game together with all of their heads popping up whenever they talk, and just editing in jokes, and it's one of the most entrancing videos of Mario Party 2 I've ever seen.
Oh, geez, that's some Soviet Womble levels of over-editing right there.
Yeah, and it was just just fun to watch, just super comfortable. Really enjoy him. He's right now under 10,000, but just getting there, so really appreciate him. Transparency had a fantastic video on Dixie Kong that I could never hope to match, that shows the progression of the character as essentially a female character in the Donkey Kong universe and what that means and what Donkey Kong Country 3 as an adventure means to this character personally. And I'm like, bro, I think about Monkey Game all the time and I haven't thought of these thoughts before. And then they just did the entire Star Fox series, and I don't have the stamina to do that. But the fact that they don't spend most of the video on 64 and instead do it on Adventures and Assault is awesome.
Nice.
I have so many more that I could go through. So many great analysts. I think I will leave it there for today.
Yeah, you toss out too many recommendations and they all blur together. You gotta...
Yeah, exactly. But if you ask me more, I will give you more.
For sure. And that's having experienced it myself twice, having had two different channels, that's one of the biggest parts of actually growing a channel. It's just getting highlighted by people that are bigger than you. Mm-hmm. It's if you guys know any people out there, they're like, hey, do you know about this guy? And highlight them. I'm probably willing to do it.
Yeah, please recommend people, and please let us check out their content. Words.
It's that long news segment. It's coming back to bite us.
Oh my god.
I think that'll do it for the comments for today. Thank you everybody for submitting them. Do it with the hashtag DDG comments in the future if you want to see them covered in the next episode. We do that because it's a lot easier to find them when you do.
Yep, and we don't want to pressure you into making a comment that you're like, oh, I don't want to hear my voice read back at me. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this has been the E3, not E3 episode. Hopefully we'll see you next time, and maybe Nintendo will do theirs by then.
Someday Banjo will come back to me. I watched the entire conference for nothing. I didn't believe it, but what if though?
There's always that what if. Yeah, there's always next year.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening. Go away.